Chapter 236. Not bad. The little dragon looked at the excited Lin Ray. For a moment, the entire atmosphere was stirred up by Lin Ray's excitement. Alright, I got it. I'll definitely cultivate well in the next few months and strive to reach the realm you mentioned. Actually, when Linley said these words, he didn't have the slightest bit of confidence in his heart. After all, in the profound sky continent, every increase in level required an enormous price to pay. Furthermore, the spiritual energy of the profound sky continent was extremely dense. But here, there was nothing except spiritual energy. There was no edge of life and death, no comprehension of life and death, and no comprehension of realms. Therefore, Lin Ray had no confidence in breaking through to the Mahayana realm. Good. It's good that you have confidence. Since that's the case, I will leave first. During this time, cultivate well. When everything is settled, quickly find a teleportation array and try to leave this place as soon as possible. This is not your main battlefield. As soon as he finished speaking, the little dragon's voice disappeared. Looking at the empty 9th floor, Lin Ray smiled helplessly. Sigh. Mahayana realm? Easier said than done. If it was in the mysterious sky continent, it might be possible, but this is a place where spiritual energy is extremely scarce. Can I really break through in seclusion this time? With a powerless body, Lin Ray closed his eyes and entered cultivation. The primal chaos scripture in his body began to operate. The spiritual energy in the surroundings began to gather toward Lin Ray's body. Finally, it all poured into Lin Ray's body. As he said, there was no time in cultivation. Not to mention, in this barren cloud pagoda where there was no sun and no alternating sun and moon, Lin Ray didn't know how long he had been cultivating. He only knew that he cultivated from the middle stage of the crossing calamity stage to the peak of the late stage of the crossing calamity stage before stopping. Time flew by and in the blink of an eye, a year had passed. Since Lin Ray began his seclusion, a year had passed. He originally thought that it would take 3 to 4 months and a few days, but he didn't expect it to take so long. Within a year, many things could happen. As the saying goes, a myriad of changes happen in an instant. There was not a single moment in this world that did not change. In the past year, the people in Beijing had been in a state of panic. Every day, there were people who were worried about going bankrupt. The establishment of the Nine Heavens Trading Company has caused the stock market to continue to soar, causing those who buy stocks to be in fear every day. What they were even more afraid of was that while Lin Ray was in seclusion for 3 months, Lin Ray of the Nine Heavens Trading Company had begun to use his own commercial channels to suppress the business of the several large families. Every day, the 5 great clans suffered losses. This made the people of the 5 great clans extremely angry. They had secretly investigated the boss of the Nine Heavens Trading Company, but the only result they found was that they couldn't find anything. This was because, aside from the high-ranking shareholders of the Nine Heavens Trading Company, only the general manager, Dong Xiaonan, knew about it. Therefore, this matter had always been a headache for them. They had thought of going to the Nine Heavens Trading Company to ask for the reason, but they didn't go in the end. This was because they felt that they were superior to others. Therefore, for the sake of face, they began to use money to fight to the death. As Lin Ray's brothers, Su Bo and Muromyu were very surprised when they received this news. This was because they knew that Lin Ray had clearly told them that he would not attack businesses. However, now that things had turned out this way, they were very puzzled. Therefore, on the first day of the incident, Su Bo and Muromyu hurried to Lin Ray's villa to ask for the reason. However, to their disappointment, after they arrived at Lin Ray's villa, Jean Ling's answer was that Lin Ray had left for a long time and would not be back for a long time. Hearing this, Su Bo and Muromyu went back. After that, they came back a few times every month to ask Lin Ray why. However, every time they came, they would be met with a wall. This made them even more puzzled. They even began to suspect that Lin Ray was purposely avoiding them. What made people speechless was Black Shadow, the leader of the dark group. Not long after Linley's closed-door training, he came back at noon. After being questioned by the other dark group members, they found out that Black Shadow came back because he didn't know where he was driving to. In the end, he had to ask people along the way before he hurried back. Previously, Lin Ray had given the Dark Department the mission of informing the Black Shadow. On the second day of Enjing's return, the Dark Department had told the Black Shadow the news. The Black Shadow had also obeyed Lin Ray's orders and came to a place not far from the Peking University and squatted down. After squatting for a short while, the Black Shadow used his divine sense to see the target of the mission Lin Ray had given him. From then on, the Black Shadow had been secretly observing Lin Feng and Lin Ro. In the end, he finally found where they were, the Ouyang residence. As for Lin Feng and Lin Ro, when Lin Ray went into seclusion, they found out about Jin En's existence. Moreover, they were very annoyed and puzzled. Their big brother had only disappeared for 2 years, but in front of them was a 5 or 6-year-old child. This made them very puzzled. However, under Jin Ling's explanation, they accepted Jin En's existence at noon. Moreover, whenever they had time, they would take Jin En to buy things. All kinds of good things were buried on Jin En's body, which made Jin Ling very touched. As for Dong Xiaonan, who had been busy with work, she came back after Lin Ray went into seclusion. After learning that Lin Ray had gone into seclusion, the male brother took control of all the company's matters, including 3 months later, the Nine Heavens Trading Company successfully went on the track and launched an attack on the few great families. However, what was even more inconceivable was that within this year, Yao had secretly given birth to a child for Linley. This was something that no one had expected, not even the people from the dark group who had been following her around. Seeing this scene, the Dark Department originally wanted to report it to Lin Ray, but they didn't know whether to report it or not. In the end, the Dark Department asked the child's mother, Yao for her opinion. In the end, Yao didn't agree, so the Dark Department could only give up. Yao's father didn't know about this matter. He only knew that Yao had said that she would go out for a few months, but he didn't expect that she would go out for a year. Sometimes, she would just call him to tell him that she was safe. As for the school, she had taken the initiative to apply for a leave of absence for herself. This matter was resolved just like that. All of this had exceeded the scope of Lin Ray's imagination. Originally, Lin Ray had only wanted to go into seclusion for a few months and wait for the company to succeed before coming out to take charge of the overall situation. He didn't expect that so much time would pass when he started cultivating. On the 9th floor of the Cloud Pagoda, Lin Ray, who had been in seclusion for a year, finally woke up. Seated on the prayer mat, Linley's spiritual energy surged explosively, and a powerful aura emanated from his body. His entire aura seemed to have improved significantly compared to before he had entered secluded meditation. Slowly, Lin Ray's eyes, which had been closed for a year, opened at noon. His eyes carried the vicissitudes of life and confusion as he looked ahead. Sigh. I still haven't broken through to the Mahayana realm. It seems that it's wishful thinking to break through to the Mahayana realm here. With a sigh, Lin Ray recalled what he had learned during his seclusion and the second level of the chaos scripture that the little dragon had mentioned before. Now, it seemed that it was all for naught. Zeng, 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 zeng. The moment Lin Ray stood up, the sound began to come from Lin Ray's body. The frightening sound was like the sound of bones rubbing against each other, but also like the sound of bones breaking. The whole scene was horrifying. It seems that the results of my seclusion are not bad. I didn't expect that not only did I break through in my cultivation, but also in my physical body. Originally, Linley had only been thinking about making a breakthrough in his training. He hadn't expected that as soon as he stood up, Linley would sense an enormous surge of power coming from his physical body, filling his entire body. In this moment, Linley's entire body was filled with power, but he had nowhere to release it. Now, even if I meet an Earth Immortal cultivator, it won't be as tragic as the last time when I fought with my companion. At this moment, sensing his own strength, Linley was very clear in his heart. If he were to encounter an earthly immortal stage cultivator again, he wouldn't be in such a miserable state like the last time. After the battle, if it wasn't a draw, he would be able to wipe out that earthly immortal stage expert. Sigh. You really haven't improved at all. Tell me, when will you stop being so arrogant? Just as Lin Rei was secretly rejoicing and self-evaluating, a figure that he had not seen for a long time appeared in his eyes. I say, Lin Rei, can you not be so narcissistic? Didn't you just break through a small realm? It's not like you broke through to the Mahayana realm. What's there to be proud of? You're really shameless. Just as Lin Rei was feeling complacent about his 2 breakthroughs in his physical body cultivation and was in a good mood, such a person had to come and make trouble for him. Moreover, this person's words were not wrong at all. This made Lin Rei very unhappy. F***ck, little dragon, will you die if you don't ridicule me for once? You're always like this. Can't you let me be happy for a while? Must you make me wear a dead face all day long? Lin Rei said to the little dragon who appeared in front of him in an unhappy tone. At this moment, he wanted nothing more than to smack the little dragon's butt until it split open. However, there was no other way. The little dragon was a spiritual body and not a physical body, so he could only think about it. Hee, alright, I'll stop messing around with you. Since you've leveled up by 1 level, you should know that the price you'll have to pay in this short period of time is F***king expensive. So, you should be mentally prepared. As he spoke, the little dragon's expression instantly became serious. Lin Rei was very embarrassed, but when he heard the little dragon's words, Lin Rei's face had the same expression as the little dragon's. Okay, I won't beat around the bush with you. You'd better look at it directly. This way, you'll have a solid foundation in your heart. The moment the little dragon finished speaking, all the information about himself appeared in front of him. Name, Lin Rei. Age, 24. Cultivation, peak of the crossing calamity stage experience, 2,532 billion. Spiritual roots, thunder, fire, wood, metal, for chaos. Spiritual roots talent, peak of the Mahayana realm cultivation technique, chaos scripture level 1, incomplete, devouring heavenly technique, growable, Hongmeng alchemy, entry cultivation technique, cloud formula, emperor cultivation technique, martial techniques, butterfly steps, entry level, stellar finger, proficient, silent thunder spear art. High level profound martial technique, now practiced to the entry level, can produce 3 thunderbolts, myriad sword art, heaven rank, level 3 incineration, emperor level, dragon subduing step, emperor level, Shura spear art, king level, Shura sword formation, king level, spiritual treasure, martial emperor godly spear, high level spiritual chi, growable, myriad magic sword, gradeless, myriad beasts furnace equipment, cloud stepping boots, spiritual weapon upper grade, purple cloud robe. Spiritual weapon upper grade, purple cloud inner armor, spiritual weapon upper grade, purple jade crown, immortal weapon lower grade, purple jade wood king hairpin, immortal weapon lower grade, mount, red flame tiger, advanced stage of crossing calamity, lucky draw wheel, 2 War General Lottery system. The War General Lottery opportunity has been used up, this system has been permanently sealed. Reputation points, 130,000 exchange points, 50,000 spiritual stones, 0 earth rank alchemist, 100,005,0000, top grade spiritual medicine, heaven and earth treasures, 50 kilograms of purple gold nephrite, 50 kilograms of purple gold sandside mission, within 300 years, reach the cultivation level that the system thinks of. If you can't do it, the system has the right to kill you directly. When your strength is improved again, rescue the suppressed Pai Shio. Pills, 11 mind control pills, 8,000 mind control pills. Damn, I can't live anymore. The experience points have skyrocketed by 200 million. Little dragon, tell me, do you still want to let me live? At this moment, when he saw all his information, Linley was stunned. Although his face was in a daze, he was very happy. After all, he had accumulated all this bit by bit. It was the result of his hard work. Humph, you brat, do you think I don't know you? Although that's what you say, your heart is already blooming with joy. In this world, the one who understood Lin Rei the most was the system spirit, the little dragon. Other than him, no one understood Lin Rei better than Lin Rei. Hee. Little dragon, I'm starting to suspect that you're not the system spirit, but the worm in my stomach. You can even think of what I'm thinking. Hearing the little dragon's words, Lin Rei couldn't help but smile helplessly. Humph, how disgusting. I'm a high and mighty existence. Even God won't accompany me in carrying my shoes. How dare you say that I'm the worm in your stomach? Judging from the little dragon's tone, it was obviously unhappy. Alright, hurry up and go out. Do you know that you've been in seclusion for a year? You don't know what's going on outside. You'd better go out and take a look. The little dragon's words made the originally calm Lin Rei completely anxious. He hurriedly said goodbye to the little dragon, and then with a thought, he disappeared on the spot. When he reappeared, Lin Rei had already returned to his room. Damn, I didn't expect that a year has already passed after I was in seclusion for a while. I don't know what's going on outside. With that said, Lin Rei's face was filled with anxiety. He pushed open the door, walked out of the room, and came to the hall. At this moment, in the hall, many people were sitting together, laughing and talking about some happy things. Seeing this scene, Lin Rei suddenly felt a sense of happiness in his heart. Chapter 237. Hee, they're all here. After regaining his senses from that trace of happiness, Linley walked downstairs and asked the people in the living room with a smile on his face. The sudden voice stunned the group of people who were talking and laughing merrily. Ah! Hubby! Among the few people who were stunned when they saw Lin Rei, Jean Ling was the first to come back to her senses. After seeing Lin Rei, she screamed and pounced toward the stairs. When Jean Ling saw Lin Rei again, it was as if her brain had short-circuited. She instantly pounced on Lin Rei. Her legs directly blocked Lin Rei's waist and hung on Lin Rei's neck. Her tone and attitude were gentle as she hung on Lin Rei's body. With a blushing face, she asked Lin Rei, "Hubby, when did you come out? Why didn't you inform me when you came out?" When Jean Ling came to Lin Rei was stunned. When he heard his wife's words, Lin Rei came back to his senses. Hee, it's okay. Didn't I just come out? Looking at his wife who had lost her signal, Lin Rei was indeed very concerned. He responded to his wife, Jean Ling, who was hanging on his body with a loving expression. Okay, hurry up and come down. How old are you already? Aren't you afraid of embarrassment? So many people are watching. Ah. You're so naughty. At this moment, after hearing Lin Rei's answer, Jean Ling realized this. She was already blushing and could get down. Jean Ling's face was now as red as an apple, making people want to go up the mountain to take a bite. Seeing this scene, Linley, who had been in closed-door training for a year and whose body was filled with an extremely strong desire, almost lost control of himself in front of everyone's eyes when he saw his wife, who was filled with such charm and beauty. Damn, this won't do. If this goes on, even if I don't burn with lust, I won't be able to control myself. He couldn't help but mutter in his heart. Lin Rei could feel the fire in his body rising. He quickly pulled his wife off his body. Alright, Ling, if this goes on, I really don't know what to do. Looking at the unhappy Ling, who was forcefully pulled out of the blanket, Lin Rei hurriedly begged Jean Ling. He looked very pitiful and very cute. Look at you, we haven't seen each other for so long, I won't tease you anymore. Let's go. You just came out today, so let's go out and eat. We can also hold a welcoming dinner for you. All right. Hearing Jean Ling's words, Lin Rei nodded in response. He went downstairs and hugged Jean Ling's small waist, then walked towards the place where everyone was gathered. Swish swish swish, Linley's arrival caused all the people sitting on the sofa to stand up and greet Linley with smiles on their faces. Big brother, young master. And, don't be restrained. Sit down, and I'll ask you some things. Hearing his relatives and brothers greet him, Lin Rei nodded and let them all sit down. Yes, young master, big brother. Looking at everyone's appearance, Lin Rei smiled helplessly and said, Yo, what's wrong? When I wasn't around, you guys were chatting very happily. Why are you all so restrained when I'm here? Lin Rei didn't know what else to say in the tense and restrained atmosphere, but there was nothing he could do. After all, he was the oldest here. Hee, big brother, you must be joking. Yes, young master, how could that be? Hearing everyone's rebuttal, Lin Rei found it because this was the effect that Lin Rei wanted. Lin Rei didn't want everyone to be unhappy because of him. Alright, Xiao Rou, Xiao Feng, go up and change your clothes first, then we'll go out for a meal. Seeing that the atmosphere had eased, Lin Li heard what Jin Ling had said to him. For a moment, Lin Li turned his head and said to Lin Feng and Lin Rou. Oh. We got it. After hearing their big brother Lin Rei's words, Lin Feng and Lin Rou hurriedly stood up and walked upstairs. Lin Rei could see the doubt in Lin Feng's eyes, and Lin Rou didn't think about anything when she heard that they were going out for a meal. She happily pulled Lin Feng away. Looking at the backs of his younger brother and sister, Lin Rei couldn't help but sigh and say, It seems that it's time to tell them. I didn't expect my younger brother to already be suspicious. Brother Lei. The company's matters have all been settled. Moreover, while you were in seclusion, we've already begun to annex the business power of the 5 big clans. In these few months, they've lost almost half of their business. After seeing that everyone present was a cultivator, Dong Xiaonan, who had been sitting at the side, finally couldn't help but come to Lin Rei's side and tell Lin Rei about the Jiutian Trading Company. What? Hearing his younger brother's words, Lin Rei was shocked. He thought that he had heard wrong, so he asked again. Yes, Brother Lei, you didn't hear wrong. Now, the Jiutian Trading Company has basically taken over half of the business of the 5 big clans. Even the factory companies that they've been working with for a long time have now been transferred to our Jiutian Trading Company. As she spoke, Dong Xiaonan's face was filled with a proud smile. However, Lin Rei wasn't so proud at this moment. It's over. When I was in seclusion, how could I forget to tell my younger brother not to touch the Su and Murong families? TSK, what should I do now? At this moment, after Lin Rei heard his younger brother's words, Lin Rei found what Su Bo had said to him before he went into seclusion. For a moment, he felt that something was wrong. Oh, by the way, husband, during the year you were in seclusion, your 2 brothers came several times, but that was because you were in seclusion, and I couldn't find you, so I let them wait. I didn't expect that they would wait for a year. Do you want to call them back? They seemed to be very anxious at that time. Just as Lin Rei was silent, worrying about the matter that he had promised his brother before, but because of his mistake, it had led to today's results. Jin Ling, who had been silent for a moment, spoke up. What? You said that Su Bo and Murong Yu came to find me? At this moment, Lin Rei was truly dumbfounded. At this moment, what Lin Rei was most afraid of was that Su Bo and Murong Yu would misunderstand him and treat him as a despicable person. Alright, I understand. If there's any other news, wait until I'm done with my business and come back. Today, you guys bring Lin Feng and Lin Rou to eat together. I still have things to do. At this moment, how could Lin Rei still be in the mood to eat? What he wanted to do the most at this moment was to quickly find Su Bo and Murong Yu and explain this matter clearly. He wanted his brothers to misunderstand him. Male brother, let's go. Come out with me. Lin Rei, who had an anxious expression on his face, said to Dong Xiaonan, who was beside him. He didn't ask for his permission and just walked outside. And at this moment, Dong Xiaonan, who was sitting on the sofa, heard Lin Rei's words and didn't hesitate at all. He directly followed Lin Rei's footsteps and chased after him. The few people in the living room were staring blankly at this scene, especially Jin Ling. Without thinking too much, he followed Lin Rei's instructions and brought Lin Feng and Lin Rou out to eat. The bright moon hung high in the sky. The black night sky was dotted with stars, illuminating the streets and alleys of Yanjing. In the bustling city, there was a car, which was moving as fast as lightning, driving on the streets. "Male brother, help me check where the Murong family and the Su family are. I want to know right now." At this moment, Lin Rei and Dong Xiaonan were in the car. After Lin Rei found out about Su Bo and Murong Yu, he rushed out in a hurry. He wanted to find the two of them and explain it clearly. However, after coming out, he didn't know where their families were. I got it. I'll do it right away." After following Lin Rei for a few years, Dong Xiaonan knew what to do when she heard Lin Rei's words. Without hesitation, she took out her phone, pressed a few numbers, and dialed them. After a few minutes, Dong Xiaonan hung up the phone and smiled at Lin Rei. She told Lin Rei the news she had just received. "Hee, I didn't expect your efficiency to be so high. It seems that I didn't make a mistake in handing Jiutian Trading Company to you." After receiving the specific information about Su Bo and his family, Lin Rei praised Dong Xiaonan with a smile on his face. His eyes were full of surprise. "Hee, it's nothing. Let's hurry up and find them and explain it to them. I believe that with me, the general manager of Jiutian Trading Company, I'll definitely explain it clearly." Actually, prior to this, Dong Xiaonan had already come to a conclusion based on what Lin Li had said. Thus, even if Lin Rei didn't say it, she knew what she should do next. "Hee, as expected, you're really smart. I was right to recognize you as my brother." At this moment, Lin Rei was more and more satisfied with Dong Xiaonan. At this moment, Lin Rei was glad for the decision he made at that time. He was glad that he recognized Dong Xiaonan as his brother. "Alright, brother Lei, we're brothers. If there's anything, you can just tell me. You've been praising me all day. If you continue like this, I'll feel embarrassed." "Ha ha ha. Alright, I won't say it, I won't say it." Hearing the man's words, Lin Rei laughed happily. Then, he quickly shut his mouth. After finding the direction of Su Bo's family, the car began to accelerate. Lin Rei's foot almost stepped on the gas pedal into the tank. As time passed, Lin Rei finally arrived at a place not far from Su Bo's family. The car stopped and Lin Rei and Dong Xiaonan stepped out of the car. They looked at the Su family's villa with serious expressions. "This Su family is really extravagant. Just this villa alone is worth a few $100 million. At this moment, Lin Rei's eyes fell on a huge and magnificent villa complex. According to the information from the man, all the villas here belonged to the Su family. In the past few years, all the people living here were from the Su family. Forget it. Let's hurry up and find Su Bo. I don't want to appear in front of this group of people right now." After saying that, Lin Rei and Dong Xiaonan each cast a small invisibility spell on themselves. Then, they activated their divine sense and flew towards the Su family's villa complex. "Brother, follow me in a while. I'll use my spiritual energy to wrap you up. I believe that there should be a higher level cultivator than you here. As long as they notice anything amiss, they'll know. As the saying goes, it's better to be safe than sorry. It was better to be prepared than to be discovered when the time came." "Yes, I know. I'll follow closely behind you and not leave your side." Hearing the man's reply, Lin Rei quickly wrapped him up with his spiritual energy. While using his divine sense to search for Su Bo's existence, he wrapped the man with his spiritual energy and flew up into the sky. "Hee, I didn't expect this place to be so big. After searching for so long, I still can't find him." After a few minutes, Lin Rei still couldn't find Su Bo's existence. Therefore, Lin Rei began to suspect whether Su Bo was in the family or not. Damn, where did Su Bo run off to? How can I not find him?" At this moment, Lin Rei and Dong Xiaonan had already arrived at the deepest part of the Su family's villa. However, at this moment, Lin Rei felt a trace of pressure that he hadn't felt since he came back. Of course, other than the pie show. What's going on? Why do I feel that there's a very powerful existence here that makes me feel a trace of unease? The deeper they flew, the more Lin Ray felt. Finally, Lin Ray felt an extremely powerful aura. For a moment, Lin Ray's expression changed greatly. Brother, go hide in the cloud pagoda first. There's a powerhouse here that makes me feel fear. I'm afraid that I won't be able to take care of you when the battle starts, so. At this moment, Lin Ray was most worried about Dong Xiaonan, who had been following him. Lin Ray didn't want anything to happen to her. Okay, I understand. Brother Lei, put me away, but you have to be careful. Dong Xiaonan, who had been obediently following behind Lin Ray, saw the serious expression on Lin Ray's face and knew the seriousness of this matter. Therefore, she didn't argue and directly let Lin Ray put her into the cloud pagoda. Okay, you go in first. It won't be long before I let you out. Hearing the young man's words, Lin Li replied with a smile on his face. Then, he wrapped the young man with his spiritual energy and sent him into the cloud pagoda in the system. After seeing that everything was settled, Lin Ray no longer had any fear. If he hadn't broken through before, Lin Ray might have been a bit afraid. But now, I want to see just how powerful this Su family is to be able to keep the Su family undefeated for 100 years. With that thought, Lin Ray continued to fly forward. Just like before, he used his divine sense to search for Su Bo's whereabouts. The pressure only grew stronger and stronger. The blood in Lin Li's body began to boil, and the desire to do battle filled his entire body. In this moment, Lin Li grew excited. If I can use this opportunity to break through my current cultivation and reach the Great Ascension stage, how great would that be? If the powerhouses of the Su family knew what Lin Ray was thinking, they would definitely find a rope and hang themselves. I've finally found you. Finally, when he was about to reach the deepest part of the pagoda, Lin Ray found the person he was looking for. Su Bo, damn, you actually live here. If you go out, it'll be so troublesome. Chapter 238. At this moment, Lin Ray grumbled as he landed in front of Su Bo's villa. Phew. I hope this kid doesn't misunderstand me. Lin Ray, who was standing at the door, had mixed feelings. He wanted to explain to Su Bo, but he didn't know what he was feeling. Forget it. Since I'm already here, why don't I go in? In the end, Lin Ray resolutely lifted his foot and walked in. He pushed open the door. This was an extremely luxurious place. In the villa's courtyard, all kinds of flowers and plants were planted. In the middle of the courtyard, there was a stone table. On top of it were teacups and some tea that had already been brewed. One could see that it was still steaming. Lin Ray wasn't exaggerating when he said that the scenery here was even more exquisite than his own villa. Damn, this kid is really enjoying himself. He lives here every day. When he goes to school, he can even stay in the school dormitory. That's enough. At this moment, Lin Ray thought of the dormitory where the four of them stayed when they were in university. Looking at this place again, he didn't know what to say. However, these things were nothing in Lin Ray's eyes. After looking at Su Bo's living quarters, Lin Ray walked into the villa's room. Lin Ray followed Su Bo's location with his divine sense. Without hesitation, he went to the room on the second floor near the stairs. Lin Ray stopped. Dong dong dong. Dong dong dong, Lin Ray gently knocked on the door of Su Bo's room. After a while, there was no sound. At this moment, Lin Ray frowned. He raised his hand and knocked on the door again. Dong dong dong, who is it? Didn't I tell you not to disturb me if there's nothing important? Finally, a lazy and familiar voice came from the room. Lin Ray, who was originally frowning, relaxed after hearing Su Bo's voice. Dong dong dong. Dong dong dong. After hearing Su Bo's voice, Lin Ray didn't want to speak immediately. Instead, he knocked a few more times so that Su Bo would open the door. Did didn't you hear me clearly? In the room, Subo, who was lying on the bed, thought that the knocking sound would leave after his intimidation. Unexpectedly, the knocking sound came again. This time, Subo was anxious. She angrily lifted the blanket and stood up from the bed. She quickly walked to the door and angrily opened it. However, in the next moment, Subo was completely stunned. His hand did not reach out to open the door. His eyes widened in disbelief. Just like that, he stared blankly at the figure that entered his sight after opening the door. Damn, what's wrong? Are you unhappy that you opened the door for me? Lin Rei, who was standing at the door, teased Subo when he saw the stunned Subo open the door. This. Hearing Lin Rei's voice, the stunned Subo was pulled back to reality by Lin Rei's voice. He didn't know what to say, but the waves in his heart were huge. He knew that he was in the deepest part of the Su family. This wasn't a place where ordinary people could come in as they wished. How could Subo not be surprised to see Lin Rei here? Even Subo was starting to wonder if his eyes had been blurred from sleeping just now, and it still hadn't healed yet. What's wrong? Aren't you going to invite your brother in? You're going to let me, who took the trouble to come here, stand at the door and do nothing? At this moment, when Subo, who was standing at the door, heard Lin Rei's voice again, he was certain that the person in front of him was his brother, whom he hadn't seen for a year, Lin Rei. F***ck, why are you here? You can't be here. Subo still couldn't believe that Lin Rei could come here. The Su family's defenses and security were very high. Even he himself might not be able to come here, let alone his brother. I thought it was something big. Hearing Subo's words, Lin Rei finally understood what he meant. For a moment, Lin Rei smiled. Come in and tell me what's going on. How did you come here? As he spoke, in the next instant, Subo reached out and grabbed the doorknob, hurriedly inviting Lin Rei into the room. Bang! After Lin Rei entered the room, Subo closed the door with a loud sound. Alright, I'm here this time for no other reason than to talk about the Nine Heavens Trading Company swallowing up your Su family's business over the past year. Lin Rei walked in and sat on the sofa in the room. He didn't beat around the bush and directly told Subo the reason for his visit. As soon as Lin Rei finished speaking, the entire room fell silent. Subo, who was sitting on the bed, was even more silent. His expression was also a little uglier than before. There's no need to say anything. I know your difficulties. When he heard Subo's words, Lin Rei felt a little disappointed. Fortunately, Subo didn't think of him as a despicable person and cut him off because of this matter. You don't have to say that. All of this is a misunderstanding. Lin Rei's words made Subo puzzled. Misunderstanding? Yes, that's right. It's a misunderstanding. Looking at Subo's appearance, Lin Rei directly told him about his own matter. Although this matter has nothing to do with me, it actually has a little bit to do with me. This matter is like this. After you left that day, I suddenly had an urgent matter and went abroad. I didn't expect that I would be gone for a year. During this year, I was abroad and didn't contact anyone, let alone this matter. Therefore, the general manager and chairman of the Nine Heavens Trading Company, Dong Xiaonan, acted according to what I had agreed on before I met you. At this moment, Lin Rei explained earnestly. This was the first time Lin Rei had done something like this. If Lin Rei's enemies in the Tianxian continent saw this scene, they would definitely be shocked. F***ck. After listening to Lin Rei's explanation, Subo finally understood the cause and effect of this matter. At this moment, the knot in Subo's heart was finally untied. Suddenly, his whole body relaxed a lot. I knew it. How could you not care about the face of your brothers and do such a thing? However, even if you did this, I wouldn't blame you. After all, I didn't ask for news of your mother. This is also something I feel very guilty about. As he spoke, a guilty expression appeared on Subo's face. At this moment, Lin Rei, who was sitting on the sofa, laughed. Alright, this is nothing. If you can't find her, then you can't find her. Anyway, there's still a long time. I don't believe that a living person would disappear for no reason. Finally, the grudge between the two brothers was touched at this moment. The two of them returned to their previous relationship of good brothers. They talked about all kinds of topics without any taboo. Oh right, quickly asked Murongyu to come over. He disappeared just like that. Everyone should drink together and explain the previous matter to him. Suddenly, after everything was connected, Lin Rei's interest in drinking emerged. He quickly asked Subo, who was sitting next to him, to call Si and Murongyu. I got it. Hearing Lin Rei's words, Subo quickly took out his phone, found Murongyu's number, and dialed it. Do. Hello, Si, it's me. Hearing that the phone was connected, Subo didn't wait for Murongyu to speak and spoke first. Oh, third brother, what's the matter? On the other side of the phone, after hearing that it was Subo, Murong Chen's face revealed a tired expression and replied with a smile. Don't say anything else. Hurry up and come to my house. We haven't seen each other for a long time. I want to drink with you and have a super big gift for you. Subo's words made Murongyu, who was on the other side of the phone, stunned. His face was filled with doubt. All right. Then you wait. Although he didn't know what Subo meant, Murongyu still agreed. Okay, I'll wait for you at home. Hearing Murongyu agree, Subo's face revealed a smile and hung up the phone. Alright, let's go down and prepare. Wait for Old Fourth to arrive, then we can start drinking. With that, Subo stood up and said to Lin Rei, who was sitting on the sofa. Then, he walked out of the room and came to the living room downstairs. Lin Rei followed closely behind, walked out of the room, came to the living room, and sat on the sofa. Subo, on the other hand, walked into the kitchen. From the refrigerator, he took out the dishes that seemed to have known that he was going to drink, and brought them to the dining table. Come on, don't just sit there. Come and drink. When Si comes, let him make up for it. Seeing that everything was served, Subo hurriedly said to Lin Rei. Then, he opened the wine bottle and poured the wine into the 2 cups. That's fine too. Hearing Subo's words, Lin Rei nodded in agreement and came to the dining table. He sat down, picked up the cup full of wine, took a sip, and responded. Oh, that's right, Lao Air. Until now, I still don't understand how you came in. This makes me very curious. If you said that you were my family, then you should have let me in. Then they should have given me a call, but you came to my door without anything. You made me very surprised, and I find it hard to believe. Subo, who also sat down to drink, pulled out the topic that he was puzzled about and said again. At this time, are you going to drink? What's the point of saying so much? At this moment, Lin Rei didn't want to answer, so he quickly changed the topic and drank the wine in the cup in one gulp. Gulp. Just like that, Lin Li gulped down a glass of white wine that had over 70% alcohol content, without any food in it. Ugh. Seeing this scene, Subo was scared. He had drunk the wine in front of him before, but he had never drunk it like Lin Rei. Therefore, at this moment, Subo's throat squirmed, and at this moment, cold sweat flowed down his face uncontrollably. Phew, this feels good. I didn't expect this to feel so good. After drinking the wine, Lin Rei suddenly felt a burning sensation from his throat to his stomach. Finally, the burning sensation turned into a warm feeling, warming Lin Rei's body. F***ck, I really don't know how you managed to increase your alcohol tolerance. From the moment I saw you a year ago, I felt that you had changed a lot. Whether it was your personality, your temperament, or any other aspect, they have all changed. I really don't know what happened to you in the past 2 years. Right now, Subo was full of emotion as he spoke about the changes that had occurred in Linley's body. Only, Linley didn't know how to respond to Subo's words. He couldn't possibly say that he had gone to another world, and that he had been there for over 10 years. That was simply unrealistic. Okay, let's drink. There's no need to say anything. We are brothers, and this will never change. So, my change is not important. As he spoke, Linley once more filled his beer bottle to the brim, and then began to drink. Time passed little by little. Soon, more than an hour passed by as Lin Rei and Subo drank. The 2 bottles of wine on the table were finished by the two just like that, but the dishes on the table were not reduced at all. Second brother, you're back. At this moment, a voice came from the door. Lin Rei and Subo, who were drinking, turned their heads and looked at the place where the voice came from. It was Murongyu, who was covered in dust from the journey. Ha ha ha. Come, drink. Seeing that the person who came was Murongyu, Subo quickly stood up and quickly came to Murongyu's side. He pulled him and said to Murongyu while reeking of alcohol. Oh. Without any dissatisfaction towards Lin Rei, he followed Subo and came to the dining table. He picked up the cup that was already prepared and drank the wine in one gulp. However, in the next moment, Murongyu regretted it. He didn't expect that it would be so strong. But since he had already drunk it, there was no need to spit it out. He endured the burning sensation in his throat and drank the wine in his mouth. Huff. Huff. Third brother, you're killing me. Why is it so strong? After drinking the wine, Murongyu wasn't willing and directly complained to Subo who was beside him. This. Hee, okay, hurry up and do it. Subo wasn't stupid enough to say his own thoughts. When he heard Murongyu's words, he quickly shifted his attention away. At this moment, Lin Rei didn't stay idle. He picked up a cup of wine and drank it in one gulp. Then, he explained to Si and Murongyu what he explained to Subo before. After Murongyu heard Lin Rei's explanation, a smile bloomed on his face. In fact, after Murongyu met Lin Rei could feel that although Si didn't have any expression of blaming him, he still had a grudge in his heart. Second brother, I'm sorry. I misunderstood you before. I'll finish this cup of wine first. After knowing the whole story, the grudge in Murongyu's heart disappeared. He quickly picked up the cup and drank it in one gulp. Chapter 239. Oh right, second brother, where have you been this year? I heard second sister-in-law say that you went abroad. Sure enough, it was the same as what Lin Rei thought. Everyone would ask this question, but how could Lin Rei answer this question? Oh. Yes, I stayed abroad this year and didn't come back. I had a lot of things on hand, so I forgot. After he finished speaking, Lin Rei looked at the expressions of the two brothers sitting opposite him. Lin Rei was slightly relieved. At this moment, after Subo and Murongyu heard Lin Rei's excuse, their faces showed an expression of understanding. This scene made Lin Rei feel very lucky. He was glad that he hit it. Come, don't say anything. Drink. All feelings are in the wine. After the misunderstanding was solved, they began to drink wine and eat meat happily. They looked very happy. Of course, this was just Lin Rei wanting to get the two drunk. This way, he could find the strong sense of oppression and seek a breakthrough. This was one of the things that Lin Rei had been thinking about when he came to the Su family and found the strong sense of oppression. He knew that in this world, Lin Rei didn't have many things that Lin Rei cared about. Strength was one of them. At this moment, what Lin Rei wanted to do the most was to quickly get the two people in front of him drunk. Then, he would do his own things. Colleagues. This way, it wouldn't affect the relationship between them. Killing two birds with one stone. Why not? This was what Lin Rei was thinking now. Time slowly began to pass. More than half of the dishes on the table, but compared to the wine bottle, it was like an ant meeting an elephant. Between them, there were dozens of empty bottles of white wine under everyone's feet. On the table, there were still many bottles of wine. While they were drinking, a servant who cleaned up the room for Su Bo came over. However, after seeing the situation of Lin Rei and the others, he was completely stunned. He anxiously came forward to dissuade them. However, he was stopped and driven out by Su Bo. Su Bo also threatened the servant to forget what he saw today and not tell anyone. After the servant left, the few of them once again began to walk and drink. The sky outside gradually darkened. Of the 3 people at the table, aside from Linley, who was still sitting at the same place, drinking wine. As for Su Bo and Murongyu, they were in a daze. Lin Rei, who felt their drunkenness, came to their side with a smile. He gently patted their shoulders and said with a smile, "You are all drunk. Let's leave it at that for today. In the next few days, I will ask them to remove all the pressure on you in business." At this moment, the fighting spirit on Lin Rei's body soared. It had already reached the point of exploding. There was no point in bringing it here. After bidding farewell to Su Bo, Lin Rei walked out of the villa's door. When he arrived outside, he looked at the already dark sky. The stars had already begun to appear, and a slight breeze blew on Lin Rei's face. At this moment, the slightly drunk Lin Rei was completely sober. Hee. I'm really looking forward to it. Just how strong is this Su family's expert to be able to make me feel fear? With a smile on his face, he turned his head to look at the deepest part of the villa, the place that made him feel the pressure. For a moment, he couldn't help but let his imagination run wild. With a whoosh, Lin Rei opened his eyes. His resolute gaze was so mesmerizing. In the next moment, Lin Rei directly flew into the sky without the support of any spells. He flew towards the deepest part of the Su family's villa. Lin Rei, who was in the sky, looked at the Su family's villa. It was like a sea of fire. It was so beautiful that it made one forget to leave. However, this was not what Lin Rei wanted. At this moment, Lin Rei's only thought was to meet this Su family's expert. Seeing that the villa in the deepest part of the villa was getting closer and closer, the pressure was getting stronger and stronger. Lin Rei, who had almost not revealed his cultivation base, was a little stagnant in the air. Ha! As expected. At this moment, Lin Rei could feel that the other party was an Earth Immortal expert. This was because a Mahayana cultivator would not give Lin Rei such pressure, but an Earth Immortal was different. He also knew that an Earth Immortal without the support of Immortal Chi was simply a little stronger than a Mahayana cultivator. However, Lin Rei did not feel the pressure of an Earth Immortal from the Su family's expert. Instead, it was another kind of pressure. This made Lin Rei very puzzled, but also very excited. This was because there was finally someone here who could make him use his full strength. Soon, Lin Rei was deceived by the pressure and floated in the air above the villa. He instantly released his cultivation base and his killing intent rushed into the villa. Humph, what kind of small fry are you? Are you not afraid of death to make trouble in my Su family? Not long after Linley's murderous aura rushed into the villa, an aura that took away spiritual energy and pressure directly pushed Linley's murderous aura and cultivation base out. He said to Lin Rei with a superior and insufferably arrogant tone. Ha! Small fry? Aren't you afraid of biting your tongue? You are just an Earth Immortal cultivator. How dare you boast shamelessly in front of me? After hearing the words of the Su family expert, Lin Rei was completely enraged. This was because ever since Lin Rei started cultivating, no one had ever called him a small fry. Oh. Is that so? After hearing Lin Rei's words, the Su family expert in the villa said in an indifferent tone and went straight into Lin Rei's ears. Tell me, why have you come to my Su family? I don't think the Su family has offended a cultivator like you. Why have you come? What is your purpose? If you don't make it clear today, don't even think about leaving here today. Bang! As soon as the words fell, the sound of a window breaking was heard. A middle-aged man rushed out and flew directly towards Lin Rei. He didn't stop until he was not far from Lin Rei. So young? After the middle-aged man saw Lin Rei's true appearance, he looked as if he had seen a ghost and said in disbelief. You are the Su family expert, but you shouldn't be this young. I see that your qi and blood are floating. You are at least 100 years old. The moment the middle-aged man appeared, Lin Rei used his divine sense to directly examine the middle-aged man's bodily functions and came to this conclusion. Oh. I didn't expect a little kid like you to be so powerful. Not bad, you are right. I have indeed been free for more than 100 years. However, I think you should have heard of my name. This question from the expert of the Su clan completely stumped Lin Li. What did he mean by know your name? Listen carefully, my name is Su Chu. After the middle-aged man said his name, the arrogant expression on his face became even more obvious. Hiss. Lin Rei sucked in a breath of cold air. His face was full of disbelief. The middle-aged man was right. In modern times, there was no one who didn't know the name Su Chu. This was because Su Chu was suitable to be a general during the Han dynasty. Moreover, he was a famous general. Ha ha ha. After a moment of surprise, Lin Rei began to laugh loudly. His voice spread out without any scruples. It was so loud that even the important people in the Su family villa heard Lin Rei's laughter. Boy, what are you laughing at? Is my name that funny? Su Chu, who had been watching Lin Rei, didn't understand the meaning of Lin Rei's laughter. He thought that Lin Rei was mocking him. Suddenly, his anger rose. He released his cultivation in an instant and rushed towards Lin Rei. You think you can make me submit with such a little pressure? You think too highly of yourself. When he felt the pressure rushing towards him, Lin Rei's lips curled up slightly, revealing a look of disdain. At this moment, his hands moved. At that moment, Lin Li gently waved his hand in front of him. The pressure that was about to reach the end of the year instantly dissipated, vanishing without a trace. What? Su Chu was shocked when he saw his pressure dissipate little by little. No, impossible. You can't break my pressure. You only have the strength of the peak of the crossing tribulation realm. How can you break my cultivation? At this moment, Su Chu went crazy. His eyes were filled with disbelief as he asked Lin Rei crazily. He looked very terrifying. In Lin Rei's eyes, this scene was simply a good show. Lin Rei sneered in his heart. It seems that I have overestimated you. I didn't expect that your endurance is so little. Alas. What a pity. Lin Rei sighed and shook his head as he spoke to Su Chu. His disappointed expression made Su Chu, who was not far away, completely angry. Which earthly immortal expert could bear the criticism of a cultivator who was going through the tribulation realm? This kind of thing was not allowed. As long as one was found, it would be destroyed immediately. Boy, since you came here without regard for your own life and are courting death, then don't blame me. At this moment, Su Chu was really angry. The murderous aura on his body was released in an instant. It could be seen that the murderous aura was condensed and rushed towards Lin Rei. After all, he was an ancient general who had killed countless people. It was normal for his murderous aura to condense. However, looking at the condensed murderous aura, Lin Rei had a disdainful expression. He also released his murderous aura and collided with Su Chu's murderous aura. Bang, the two murderous auras collided. But the strange thing was that the two murderous auras were evenly matched. It seemed that neither of them could do anything to the other. They were in a stalemate. What? How is it possible? This level of murderous aura, how many people do you have to kill to have this? This boy, how is it possible? At this moment, in Su Chu's eyes, Lin Rei was no longer a junior. In Su Chu's eyes, Lin Rei was mysterious. Good, 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 good. No wonder you dare to come here and provoke me. You have succeeded. You have succeeded in attracting my attention. But at the same time, your death date has arrived. Swish, in an instant, a long cold spear appeared in Su Chu's hand. At the same time, the murderous aura that confronted Lin Rei also returned to Su Chu's side. Suddenly, Su Chu's cultivation was released. With the support of the murderous aura, Su Chu was like a god of war. He stood there majestically and quietly, glaring at Lin Rei as if he wanted to kill him. Take out your tone. I don't want to kill you just like that. An incomparably overbearing sentence came out of Su Chu's mouth. His arrogant look made Lin Rei, who was standing not far away, feel nauseous. TSK, just pretend to be a *****. What's so great about that? Isn't your cultivation just a little higher than mine? Looking at Su Chu, Lin Rei did not hesitate. Aaron was a real earthly immortal expert. If he also pretended to be a *****, it was very likely that he would die here today. The next moment, Lin Rei agreed with Su Chu. In an instant, the Martial Emperor Divine Spear appeared in Lin Rei's hand. His hands were holding the Martial Emperor Divine Spear's shaft. The tip of the spear was shining with a cold light, which made people feel a surge of coldness. This spear, ah. Good, I want your spear. When Lin Rei's Martial Emperor Divine Spear appeared, Su Chu's eyes lit up. He looked at Lin Rei's weapon greedily and used his domineering words to take Lin Rei's Martial Emperor Divine Spear as his own. Sure, but it depends on whether you have the ability to do so. Swish, the moment Lin Rei finished speaking, Lin Rei's figure disappeared directly on the spot. Swish. Bang. The sound of weapons clashing resounded through the sky. The two spears collided. Boom, the spiritual chi exploded and instantly swept out in all directions. Oh, I didn't expect you to be so strong. However, if that's all you have, then I can tell you that you're dead today. Su Chu, who was holding the spear, directly pushed Lin Rei away. It was not until Lin Rei was 100 meters away that his body stopped flying. If you want me to die, then it depends on whether you're daydreaming or not. Lin Rei, who was fixed in the air, instantly activated his thunder spiritual root. Thunder and lightning flashed on the surface of his body. He looked like the thunder god, and his whole person became incomparably sacred. Thunder technique, silent thunder spear arts thunder net, kill. At this moment, Lin Rei was serious. He did not want to delay any longer. If this went on, it would be impossible for him to break through to the next realm. Lin Rei, who was holding the Martial Emperor Divine Spear, rushed directly towards Su Chu. The thunder and lightning on his body were constantly flashing, like a dazzling star. In an instant, Lin Rei's figure appeared beside Su Chu. The Martial Emperor Divine Spear pierced towards Su Chu's body. Clang. As expected of an expert in the earthly immortal realm. The moment Lin Rei came to Su Chu's side, Su Chu had already reacted. With lightning speed, he relied on his own cultivation to block Lin Rei's attack. Swoosh. However, Su Chu still underestimated Lin Rei's ability. After the two collided, Su Chu was sent flying backwards. While flying backward, Su Chu's eyes were filled with disbelief. He had never thought that a cultivator who was going through the tribulation could make him, an expert in the earthly immortal realm, so embarrassed. Chapter 240. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Interesting, very interesting. I have seen many talented people, but this is the first time I have seen someone like you. What a pleasant surprise. Su Chu, who had been sent flying, forcibly stopped his body from flying backwards. He looked at Linley with a burning gaze. It was as if Linley had become his prey and he would not stop until he got his hands on him. You are qualified for me to fight with all my strength. Next, I will capture you, erase your memories, and make you one of my generals. You will be my Su clan's slave for generations to come. When Su Chu saw that Linli was able to surpass his level in battle, he had the thought of taking Linli in as his own. Su Chu, although you are a famous ancient general and I admire you, you must know your place. If you have the ability to do something, then you have the ability to say it. So, whether you are a worm or a dragon, it depends on whether you have the ability to do what you say. Linli had been listening to Su Chu the entire time. When he heard that Su Chu wanted him to become his slave, Linli made his decision. It didn't matter whether or not Su Chu was the ancestor of the Su clan. It didn't matter whether or not he was the ancestor of his brother Su Bo. In Linli's heart, Su Chu had already been placed on the death list. No one could save him. Very well, since you have said so, I will respectfully accept your request and reluctantly take you in. Whoosh. As soon as Su Chu finished speaking, the smile on his face instantly changed. It became extremely ferocious and bloodthirsty. It made people feel as if he was no longer a human, but a wild beast that was bursting with bestial instincts. In an instant, Su Chu disappeared from where he was. He disappeared from this space without a sound. It seems that I have underestimated the cultivators in this space. Since they can cultivate, how can they not have a trump card at this level? At this moment, Linli was looking at the place where Su Chu had disappeared with a smile on his face. He couldn't help but become vigilant. In Linli's world, no matter if the opponent was an earthly immortal expert or not, as long as it was an enemy, Linli would be 120% vigilant and not relax at all. Because only in this way would he not make an irreversible mistake because of a moment of carelessness. You think you can stump me just because you have an escape technique? You underestimate me too much. With a solemn look on his face, he instantly spread out his divine sense. Every single movement within a radius of a kilometer appeared in Linli's mind, clearly visible. Not a single thing was missing. However, Linli's expression became even more solemn. This was because in the past, as long as he used his divine sense after concealing himself, the enemy would be unable to hide from Linli's divine sense. But this time, it seemed to be different. In Lin Rei's divine sense, he didn't sense anything. No matter up, down, left, or right, there was no trace of Su Chu. At this time, Lin Rei knew that Su Chu was really a bit difficult to deal with. After seeing that it was useless, Lin Rei didn't feel discouraged. He didn't withdraw his divine sense. Instead, he directly opened his 5 senses and sensed the changes in the surrounding air and air. I don't believe that my divine sense can't find you. Even my 5 senses can't find you. In an instant, Lin Rei closed his eyes. The martial emperor divine spear in his hand drilled hard. The spiritual power in his body was instantly channeled into the martial emperor divine spear. The silent thunder spear art was also ready to be unleashed. With his 5 senses activated, he sensed all the changes in his surroundings. He didn't slack off at all. Because Lin Rei knew that if he slacked off, he would be the one to lose his life. Whoosh whoosh sounds appeared in Lin Rei's ears. After hearing the changes, a smile appeared on Lin Rei's face and he muttered in his heart. As I said, no matter how powerful the escape technique is, as long as there are traces, it will be found by the 5 senses. Linli bellowed and the primal chaos scripture within his body began circulating at a rapid pace. The immortal artifact he was wearing also unleashed its power to bolster his body. At the same time, his fleshly body, which was at the pinnacle of the prized artifact tier, tensed up as it concentrated its power and released a formidable atmosphere of coercion. In the entire Su clan villa, all the cultivators, regardless of whether they were asleep, drunk, or in the middle of cultivation, opened their eyes the instant Linli released his full power. They hurriedly rushed outside the villa and raised their heads to look at Linli, who was releasing his pressure. Of course, Su Bo and Murongyu were also among the crowd of Su family cultivators who came out. When they saw Lin Rei in the air, holding a long spear and looking around, for a moment, their brains short-circuited. Because they couldn't believe that their brother, who they had always thought was an ordinary person, would give them such an explosive greeting gift. How is this possible, second brother? Is that second brother? At this moment, they raised their heads and looked at Lin Rei, who was standing in the air. Their eyes were filled with disbelief as they asked Su Bo, who was beside them, in a daze. Seems like it. I still remember second brother's clothes. It's the clothes that the person in the air is wearing. However, what is going on? Why would he? Hearing Si and Murongyu's words, Su Bo was puzzled but firmly answered Murongyu's question. Why? Why would second brother release such a powerful pressure here? This kind of pressure, I've only felt it from my ancestor back then. Why would second brother have such a powerful strength? He has only disappeared for 2 years. Could it be that in these 2 years, something unimaginable happened? At this moment, Murongyu, who had always been smart, instantly calmed down and rationally began to analyze Lin Rei's frame that had disappeared for 2 years. You're right. Hearing Si's words, Su Bo nodded in agreement. However, in the next moment, Su Bo roared, But why is second brother like this in my Su family? At this moment, no one understood why such a cultivator with such a powerful pressure would suddenly appear in their own family. What they were even more puzzled about was that the Su family seemed to have never offended such an expert. It wasn't only the Su family that felt Lin Rei's aura. After Lin Rei released all of his cultivation, it had already been seen through by the cultivators from all over the Yanjing. In the first moment, they left their own places and headed towards where Lin Rei was releasing such a powerful aura. Found it. At this moment, Lin Rei was looking towards a direction in the southeast with a smile on his face. Without any hesitation, he instantly rushed out and activated the Silent Thunder Spear art. He directly pierced towards the space where there was no one. What? How could this be? How did he know where I was hiding? At this moment, Su Chu, who had used an escape technique to disappear, saw Lin Rei charging towards him with a powerful martial skill. His face was filled with doubt, and he couldn't help but blurt out with a surprised tone. However, at this critical moment, there was no time for Su Chu to think about how Lin Rei knew where he was. The moment Lin Rei activated his martial skill and rushed towards Su Chu made his move. Source Knight Spear Art, Radiance Return. In an instant, he activated his martial skill and blocked in front of his chest. Moreover, he rapidly circulated the spiritual energy in his body as his eyes stared straight at the martial skill that was attacking him. Dong! Bang! The sound of martial skills colliding could be heard in an instant. The Su clan cultivators who were looking up at the sky all sensed a shocking wave of spiritual Su Chi's aftermath. In the instant that they were caught off guard, it pushed everyone out of the sky before stopping. There were even some Su family cultivators with low cultivations who fainted from the aftershocks of Lin Rei and Su Chu's attacks. There were even some people who had blood flowing out of their mouths. Their appearances were extremely terrifying. Damn, what did second brother eat? How could his cultivation be so powerful after not seeing him for 2 years? It's a good thing that our cultivations are a bit better. Otherwise, our internal organs would have been damaged by this aftershock and bleeding from all 7 orifices. At this moment, Su Bo, who was also pushed out a few meters by the aftershock of the attack, said to Murongyu, who was beside him. Cough, cough. Cough. At this moment, after Murongyu coughed twice, he raised his head and looked at the sky in disbelief. His entire body was facing Lin Rei as he said in surprise. Sigh. Who said it wasn't? I originally thought that second brother was an ordinary person. I didn't expect that not only was second brother not an ordinary person, but he was also so powerful that I didn't dare to look directly at him. Sigh. It seems that I've lived in vain for the past 20 years. Su Bo and Murongyu, who felt the terror of Lin Rei, were filled with surprise. However, they were even more happy for Lin Rei. They were truly happy for Lin Rei to have such ability. In the sky, Lin Li's and Su Chu's spears collided. At this moment, neither of them managed to send the other flying. Instead, they were locked in a stalemate. At this moment, Su Chu took the lead and said, "Hee hee, this really surprises me. A brat at the peak of the tribulation stage can actually use such a powerful martial skill. Furthermore, he has such a powerful spiritual energy supporting him. I really don't know what kind of surprise you will give me next." At this moment, Su Chu no longer regarded Lin Rei as a junior. Instead, he regarded him as an expert who had both strength and capital. Humph. Strong? Is this considered strong? Compared to the earthly immortals I killed before, you are the strongest. Of course, it's not that I don't have the ability to kill you, but it's not the time yet. Hearing Su Chu's words, Lin Rei responded directly without any courtesy. His eyes were filled with killing intent, as if he wanted to kill Su Chu immediately. What, you killed an earthly immortal before? This shocking news directly hit Su Chu's heart. This was not an ordinary shock, but the most shocking thing in history. An earthly immortal was many times more powerful than a cultivator who had completed the tribulation stage. If he could kill an earthly immortal before, how terrifying would that be? After all, he was now at the peak of the tribulation stage. Previously, he was at a lower realm than the peak of the tribulation stage. Well, don't talk nonsense. Today, I'll show you what a real leapfrog challenge is. Swish. The moment Lin Rei finished speaking, the martial Emperor Divine Spear separated from Su Chu's long spear and retreated to a distance. Today, I'll show you what a real expert is and what a real martial technique is. Lin Li had already decided that he was going to take advantage of this period of time to find a way to break through to the Grand Ascension stage, but at the same time, he had to suppress Su Chu with all his might. The only way to do this was to use level 3 incineration and the dragon subduing step. This was the only way to achieve both goals. In an instant, the martial Emperor Divine Spear in his hand disappeared. The next moment, the Emu Sword of all trades appeared in his hand. What? Using a sword? How could it be possible for a single person to cultivate two different types of martial techniques? No way, it must be a bluff. At this moment, when he saw the sword that had suddenly appeared in Lin Li's hand, Su Chu couldn't believe that Lin Li was able to execute a sword technique no matter what. Because according to his knowledge, it was impossible for a person to cultivate two different types of weapons, let alone two different types of martial skills. Humph, remember, nothing is too strange in this world. You're just a frog at the bottom of a well. In this space, you've cultivated the arrogance of a cultivator to the peak. However, you don't know anything about cultivation. Well, today, I'll let you see the principle that all the Daos in the world lead to the same destination through different paths. That's good. Without further ado, Lin Rei's aura soared again after he finished speaking. At the same time, the cultivators who sensed Lin Rei's aura rushed to the sky outside the Su family's villa and watched the battle between Lin Rei and Su Chu attentively. Level 3 Incinerating Wind, Meteoric Kill. In an instant, the primal chaos scripture circulated rapidly. Spiritual energy left Lin Rei's body and entered the Emu Sword of all trades. One of Lin Rei's hands was placed directly on the sword hilt. Ha! Surrender. Boom! After Lin Rei shouted, a gush of sword chi broke through the restraint of the Emu Sword of all trades and rushed toward Su Chu, who was dumbfounded. Tens of thousands of sword chis directly blocked off all possible escape routes for Su Chu, who had just reacted and wanted to escape. Tens of thousands of sword chi formed a sword ball and sealed Su Chu in the middle of the ball. At that moment, Su Chu was like a trapped beast. He had nowhere to run, but he was unwilling to give up. He looked at the sword chi around him in terror. He looked like he wanted to stop, but he couldn't. This made Lin Li's mood instantly feel very good. Damn, this, when did this amazing person appear? He can actually make old man Su suffer like this. At this moment, among the crowd of onlookers, a middle-aged man who looked like Su Chu muttered to himself mockingly. Huh, you still don't understand? That young man has been playing with old man Su before, but now he's using his true strength. Therefore, this round will depend on old man Su. Whether he lives or dies will depend on that young man's choice. Chapter 241. You're all wrong. If this old man rises, do you think the peace between the 5 major families of Yenjing will still exist? Also, don't forget, this young man who has cultivated to such a level, what do you think he will do after killing that thing? Will he settle for peace, or? While the middle-aged men were talking, a voice that wasn't very coordinated, yet sounded very reasonable. For a moment, the middle-aged men fell silent. Also, you have to remember that no matter how much internal strife we have, this is between us. Will you watch your brother be humiliated like this, and even lose his life in the end? The voice came again. Suddenly, the middle-aged men seemed to have been enlightened. They quivered and came to their senses. Cold sweat covered their faces, and their hearts were filled with guilt and fear at the same time. Old man Long Feng, I didn't expect that not only is your cultivation high, but you're also smart. At that moment, after agreeing with Long Feng's words, they all turned around and began to tease him. Yeah. That's strange. We haven't seen each other for 100 years. If it weren't for the situation, I think you would still be in seclusion in that turtle shell. For a moment, they chatted as usual. In the air, they greeted each other one after another, but at the same time, they had already released their divine senses. As long as Lin Rei moved freely, they would all rush forward and save the trapped Su Chu. Ha ha ha. You old things, you're still talking about me, aren't you? It's been 100 years, and you've never said anything about visiting my Long family. If it weren't for today, I'm afraid I wouldn't be able to see you even after another 100 years. At that moment, Long Feng looked at the middle-aged men with resentment. He was like a little wife who had been bullied, complaining to them. Look at all of you. You're the ancestors of the 5 major families of Yenjing. Look at how petty you are. If it weren't for the few of you, I wouldn't even care about you. Instantly, when they heard Long Feng's words, they all lowered their heads in shame, looking as if they were wrong. The scene was extremely comical. Alright, Murong Hong, Shui Wutian, Ouyang Ku, don't be like this. In the future, all of you should change your bad habits. After all, we are all over 1,000 years old. We are no longer the righteous people from the past. At this moment, Long Feng was like a hometown educating his own children. He was reprimanding everyone, but at the same time, he was tying everyone's hearts together. On the other side, things weren't as peaceful as Long Feng's side. In another direction, Lin Li's face was filled with killing intent as he stared at the trapped Su Chu. His face was filled with ridicule as he spoke. Su Chu, when I met you today, I wanted you to help me. But your biggest mistake was to humiliate me time and time again. Actually, I didn't want it to be like this. All of this was caused by you, so don't blame me. At this moment, Lin Rei, who had arrived in front of Su Chu, had a murderous look in his eyes. He slowly raised the Yi-Wood 10,000 magical sword to his chest. However, I can tell you that if you die, I will take care of your Su family. So, you can rest assured. You. Lin Rei did not know that his words had caused the trapped Su Chu's blood to boil. It seemed as if he wanted to break free and kill Lin Rei. Who would smile and say, I'll take care of your family, when they were about to kill you? Who would be able to bear such a thing? If it weren't for the fact that his cultivation and physical body were restricted, Su Chu would have rushed out long ago. Humph, I want to see how strong you can be when you are completely angry. I hope you can reach the level where I am late. Looking at Su Chu's angry look, Lin Rei's smile became wider and he muttered in his heart. In fact, Lin Rei did not intend to kill Su Chu immediately. He had not achieved his goal yet, so how could he kill Su Chu? The reason he had done so much was to infuriate Su Chu. Only then would Su Chu disregard everything to kill Lin Rei. Only then would Lin Rei be able to achieve what he wanted. Rest assured. Although this calm sentence did not mean anything, it was precisely because of Lin Rei's calm tone that was the most frightening. As soon as Lin Li finished speaking, the tens of thousands of streams of sword energy surrounding Su Chu instantly charged towards Su Chu. Sigh. It seems like I can't escape today. The Tendo is unfair. My life is over. Su Chu raised his head to look at the sky and sighed sorrowfully when he sensed the strange movement of the sword chi around him. Ha ha ha. Old man, we haven't settled the score between us yet and you want to leave us behind? Don't you think we are letting you off too easily? Just as Su Chu felt that he did not have long to live and was bemoaning the state of the universe and pitying the fate of mankind, the old ancestors of the other 4 great clans who had been watching him all this time suddenly appeared. They spoke to Su Chu with a mocking tone, who had already closed his eyes and accepted his fate of death. That's right. Old man, you are always causing trouble for us. Why did you have to do this? Tell me, are you asking for a beating? The appearance of the 4 men reignited a new hope in Su Chu, who was waiting for death. When she opened her eyes, she saw a familiar figure that she couldn't be more familiar with. For a moment, her eyes became moist. This scene was out of Lin Rei's expectations. Lin Rei did not expect that someone would stand up for Su Chu. However, the truth surprised Lin Rei. The people who appeared were like Su Chu, some of the earthly immortals. Lin Rei's face darkened instantly. Ha! You old men, you have been watching the show from the sidelines. Are you watching the show as if you were watching a joke? I thought you were watching the show. Immediately, Su Chu understood. Moreover, the despair in his heart dissipated. All right, stop talking nonsense. Let's attack from the inside and outside and disperse the sword chi first. We still don't know if he will survive. At that moment, Long Feng looked at the sword energy surrounding Su Chu with a solemn expression on his face as he spoke to Su Chu beside him. Okay. The instant he finished speaking, Long Feng and the other 3, as well as Su Chu, took out their own magic treasures and began to attack Lin Li's sword chi. The attacks of the 5 earthly immortals were fatal to Lin Rei's sword chi. The moment their attacks collided with Lin Li's sword chi, the sword chi dissipated, and Su Chu was finally out of danger. Ha, old man, we have saved your life. Shouldn't you take out your Wanyan wine? The sword chi disappeared, and Su Chu escaped. The moment the 5 of them reunited, Long Feng, who was at the side, came to Su Chu's side with ill intentions. His voice was not very loud, but the 5 of them could definitely hear him clearly. Yes. Yes, yes. We have been thinking about your Wanyan wine for a long time. You can't escape now. Hearing Long Feng's words, the few of them echoed Long Feng's words and spoke to Su Chu with anticipation. Good, good, good. I know that you have been thinking about my wine. Don't worry. Today's matter is settled. I will let you drink to your heart's content. Su Chu said with a fake smile. Although he said that, his heart was already bleeding. One must know that the Wanyan wine was something that he had kept for 1,000 years. It wasn't something that could be compared to ordinary things. Even Su Chu himself couldn't bear to drink a single mouthful of it. Ha ha ha, I like Su Chu now. Obviously, he is distressed, but there is no way to refuse. It feels so good. Their words were heard by Lin Rei, who was standing not far away with a gloomy face. For a moment, anger surged in his heart. Humph. Old man, it's none of your business. Don't think that I can't deal with you just because you're all earthly immortals. Since World Weary has pissed me off, I'll deal with all of you one by one. I'll make your 1,000 years of cultivation go up in smoke. At this moment, although Lin Li was furious that they had destroyed his sword chi, at the same time, Lin Li was also very excited. After all, so many whetstones had appeared out of nowhere. This was perfect. This way, the speed of his breakthrough would decrease. Oh, you talk big. Boy, do you know that this is the first time I have heard you say this in thousands of years? At this time, the 5 people, who were chatting enthusiastically, stopped smiling and turned around. Yang-ku, one of the 5, said to Lin Rei with a disdainful face. Humph. Humph. You don't know what's good for you. Even if you have a powerful martial technique that can trap an earthly immortal expert, don't forget that we have 5 earthly immortals here. Moreover, when you fought with Su Chu, you consumed a lot of your spiritual energy. Do you think you still have a chance to win against us now? At this moment, Lin Rei's face became gloomier. Yang-ku was right. He had consumed a lot of spiritual power, but Lin Rei had a lot of treasures of heaven and earth that could replenish his spiritual power. The situation of exhaustion due to the consumption of spiritual power would never happen to Lin Rei. Oh. You're right. I did consume some spiritual power in the previous battle. Thank you for reminding me. At this moment, Lin Rei did not dare to be careless. After all, he was facing 5 Earth Immortal experts. The moment he finished speaking, a glittering spiritual stone full of spiritual power appeared in his hand. Lin Rei operated the chaotic scripture. In an instant, the spiritual power in the stone began to drill into Lin Rei's body. What? Lin Rei's strange phenomenon and the sudden appearance of the spiritual stone in Lin Rei's hand attracted the attention of the 5 patriarchs. Their eyes widened and they blurted out in disbelief. How could this be? How could he have this kind of treasure? And it seems to be of high quality. The 5 patriarchs knew about the existence of spiritual stones. After all, they were self-cultivators. However, what surprised them was that spiritual stones were almost extinct in this space. Even if there were, they could only come across them by chance. It was the first time they had seen this young man take out a spiritual stone so casually and absorb it to recover his spiritual power. Lin Rei did not know what they were thinking, nor did he want to know. At this moment, Lin Rei just wanted to absorb the spiritual power and the spiritual stone as quickly as possible. He operated the devouring skill. In an instant, an extremely powerful suction force appeared. The spiritual power and the spiritual stone began to disappear rapidly. In just a few seconds, the sparkling spiritual stone turned into powder and scattered with the wind. Heavens, this person's absorption rate is so high. Moreover, the technique he's using isn't something we're familiar with. That technique has never appeared in this world before. Who exactly is this young man? At this time, a bunch of questions appeared in the minds of the 5 ancestors. They didn't understand what kind of person could nurture such a powerful disciple. Phew. Lin Rei opened his eyes and a ray of light flashed through them. He was originally a little dispirited, but at this moment, he became spirited. The spiritual power he had consumed before was replenished and was even stronger. Alright, let's not talk nonsense. Since you want to die, then don't blame me. Looking at the 5 patriarchs, Lin Rei did not show any fear. Instead, his battle intent rose and he looked as if he could not wait. This made the earthly immortals very puzzled. Level 3 Incineration Earth Extreme, Strangle. Looking at the 5 patriarchs, Lin Rei slowly raised his arm that was holding the Mu 10,000 art sword. Spiritual power instantly flowed from his arm into the sword. Buzz! Suddenly, a sword cry resounded through the sky. The sword shone brightly and a trace of coldness rose. Didn't you say that the 5 earthly immortals were very strong? I won't wait. Whether or not you are strong depends on whether you can take this move of mine. Whoosh! The sound of something breaking through the air entered the ears of the earthly immortals. Lin Rei waved the Mu 10,000 art sword. Tens of thousands of swords that were exactly the same as the Mu 10,000 art sword appeared out of thin air and rushed towards the 5 earthly immortals. A murderous aura spread through the space. However, when the cultivators in this space felt Lin Rei's sword intent, they all vomited blood. What? This attack is even stronger than before. How many trump cards does this kid have? At this moment, the 5 earthly immortal realm experts didn't have the time to think too much. When they saw the tens of thousands of swords coming towards them with unstoppable might, they instinctively withdrew all their magic weapons and released all their cultivation to block before their chests. When Long Feng saw Lin Rei's attack, his face was full of grievances. However, the shock and fear in his eyes were real and could not be replaced by any expression. Whoosh! 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 Accompanied by the tens of thousands of swords, the 5 earthly immortals began to fight with all their might. Chapter 242. For a moment, in the sky, the magnificent martial skills began to rise. The 5 ancestors were as tired as dogs as they attacked Lin Rei's martial skills. At this moment, whether it was the spectators in the sky or the people in the Su family's villa on the ground, they were all numb. They were numb to Lin Rei's sudden appearance and everything that happened. Especially Lin Rei's 2 brothers, Su Bo and Muronyu. At this moment, their expressions had turned into natural blankness. Their eyes were filled with disbelief as everything that happened here. After the 5 ancestors arrived, they recognized their identities. Although they didn't see them often, they still recognized the identities of their own ancestors. This is unbelievable. I didn't expect second brother's strength to be so strong that he's on par with the ancestors of the 5 great families. At this moment, Su Bo's face was filled with shock. He raised his head and looked at the 6 people fighting in the sky. For a moment, he had a lot of thoughts about them. That's right. Second brother is no longer the second brother of the past. Do you still remember the group of people who rushed in to look for trouble during the last meal? Yes. What's wrong? Hearing Murongyu's words, Su Bo recalled and nodded in response. After that, when I returned home, I thought that they dared to harm second brother, so I sent people to teach them a lesson. But what you didn't know was that the people I sent out reported that the group of people who rushed into the private room and never came out. They just disappeared into thin air at this time. There was no news about them at all. They searched the air, sea, and sea, but there was no news at all. What? You're saying? Hearing Murongyu's words, Su Bo was shocked. If it was anything else, it wouldn't be a big deal. But after all, that was 20 or 30 lives. He still couldn't believe this. Yes, that's right. What you're thinking is what I want to say. So, after seeing second brother's scene, I thought of what happened before. So, I'm sure that they're already dead. At this moment, their hearts were in turmoil. Their view of Lin Rei had completely changed. At this moment, Lin Rei was so unfamiliar in their eyes, so unfamiliar that it scared them. Of course, Linli, who was in midair watching as the 5 patriarchs attacked him with tens of thousands of swords, naturally didn't know what they were thinking. Even if he did, Linli wouldn't say anything or explain anything. At this moment, Lin Rei was very excited because just now, Lin Rei had vaguely sensed that he was about to make a breakthrough to the Grand Ascension stage, but it was only a vague feeling. That's great. Since that's the case, let's charge forward in one go. Having made his decision, Linli saw that the 5 patriarchs were flustered. Instantly, he raised his sword and charged towards the 5 patriarchs. In an instant, he rushed into the tens of thousands of swords that he had used before. However, when they came into contact with Lin Rei's spiritual power, the swords would bypass Lin Rei. Not good, everyone be careful. That young man has launched an attack. Everyone, be careful. At this moment, the sharp-eyed Long Feng instantly noticed Lin Rei's actions and turned to warn the 4 people next to him. Okay, we got it. Whoosh. The sound of something breaking through the air was heard instantly. At this time, Su Chu was caught off guard and collided with Lin Rei's sword. With a bang, Su Chu, who had no time to dodge, was blasted from the sky to the villa on the ground by the force of Linli's long sword. In an instant, when Su Chu's body hit the villa, a hole was blasted out of the villa by Su Chu. Ha, today I'll let you know what a real powerhouse is and what a real cultivator is. After seeing that Su Chu was blasted away, Lin Rei did not give them any time to recover. The moment after Su Chu was blasted away, Lin Rei's body moved. This time, the one who rushed forward was Long Feng, who had been commanding them. Kill. Murderous aura burst out in an instant. A condensed murderous aura instantly turned into a sharp sword in the air and flew straight towards Long Feng's body. At the same time, the 10,000 Laws sword in Lin Rei's hand also rushed over with the condensed murderous aura. Neither of the two attacks was something they could withstand, let alone two attacks at the same time. Boom. Pung. In the blink of an eye, the sword of killing intent had materialized and arrived at Dragonwind's side. Dragonwind had used all the strength in his body to finally deflect Linley's attack. However, although the sword of killing intent had dissipated, in the instant that the sword of killing intent had dissipated, the loss of the 10,000 spells sword had appeared in Dragonwind's eyes. This time, no matter how fast Long Feng was, there was no way he could dodge it. In the end, Long Feng could only close his eyes and accept his fate. Pung. Long Feng's body collided with the 10,000 Laws sword. In an instant, Long Feng's body was blasted away. This scene was simply unbelievable in the eyes of the other three patriarchs. They had known that Long Feng was the strongest among them, but now? What should we do? Even Long Feng is no match for him. Aren't we hitting a stone with an egg? At this moment, Ouyang and the other two patriarchs, who were on guard, felt a deep sense of fear in their hearts. What should they do now? This was something they had never thought of before. Soon. We will be able to clearly feel the barrier to the Mahayana realm. At this moment, while they were worrying about what to do next, Lin Rei was even more anxious. The barrier to the Mahayana realm had been flickering constantly, which made Lin Rei, who was determined to break through, anxious. Level 3 Incineration, Heaven's Extremity, Exterminate. Instantly, Linley's eyes widened as he stared at the rest of the spells. He didn't put them away, but at this moment, he unleashed the final stage of the third rank, Incinerate. In an instant, within a radius of a few kilometers, the spiritual energy, which was already extremely scarce to begin with, began to gather towards Linley when he used Heavenly's extremity. Slowly, the concentrated energy was absorbed into the Mu 10,000 magical sword. In an instant, it shone brightly, causing the originally pitch-black night sky to be filled with radiance. It gave people a strange feeling in their hearts. Ouyang and the other two patriarchs, who had been standing in the air not far away, felt a sense of crisis in their souls after Lin Rei used Heaven's extremity. This sense of crisis was something they had never experienced before in their lives. This feeling made them very uncomfortable, but they still wanted to say it out loud. What should we do? This kind of attack is simply not something we can withstand. At this moment, the three of them were afraid. Previously, they had only been afraid. Now, it was different. Ouyang and the other two patriarchs wanted to retreat. They were afraid. Since you dared to come here and interfere, don't regret it. It's too late. There's nothing you can do about it. Sword chi filled Lin Rei's body. Every sword chi carried with it a feeling of being able to destroy heaven and earth. Just now, they felt very uncomfortable and wanted to immediately escape. Not only Ouyang and the other two patriarchs, but even the surrounding cultivators who came to visit and the cultivators in the Su family's villa on the ground had thoughts of retreating. Some people even began to retreat in all directions. No, this won't do. My ancestor is among them. If my ancestor is killed, then will my Murong family still have the capital to survive in Beijing in the future? No, I have to stop second brother. At this moment, Murong, who felt the killing intent, couldn't bear it anymore. He couldn't watch his ancestor die in front of his eyes. Even more so, he couldn't let his family be destroyed in his generation. Murongyu, who was as if he had gone mad, instantly removed his cultivation appropriately. Then, he rode his sword and flew towards the sky with an aura of being duty-bound. That scene infected Su Bo, who was beside him. Damn, see, you bastard. I'm still your third brother, okay? How can you leave me behind for something like this? Actually, he also understood Murongyu's words. He also knew the consequences of this matter. So, as long as Lin Rei didn't stop, then the powers in Beijing would be reshuffled. The current 5 great families would no longer exist, and they wouldn't live up to their names. In the instant that Murongyu rushed into the sky, Su Bo also rushed up. At this moment, they were going to negotiate with Lin Rei with the will to die. Su Bo and Murongyu's actions attracted the attention of the Su family and the other 5 great ancestors. They looked at them with pity in their eyes. They wanted to stop them, but they were powerless. As for the people in the sky, they looked at Su Bo and Murongyu with faces full of confusion. They were all laughing foolishly in their hearts. These 2 idiots. Do they think they can organize this battle? Too naive. Look. They'll all die in a while. Huh, idiots. Hurry up and die. It's best if they all die. That way, our Wu family can replace one of the 5 great families. At the moment, they were watching Su Bo, Luo Yunyang, and the patriarchs of the 5 great clans as if they were watching a show. In their hearts, they were all waiting to see how the 5 great patriarchs would die. At this moment, all their little schemes were on display. At this moment, everyone's gazes were focused on Su Bo and Murongyu. They wanted to see what the final outcome of these 2 people would be. However, after they heard the conversation between Su Bo and Lin Rei, they were all stupefied. At this moment, Su Bo and Murongyu had already flown to Lin Rei's side on their swords. However, at this moment, their figures were already battered and exhausted. Due to Lin Rei's martial technique, everything around them was so powerful that every sword chi was enough to destroy them. Second brother, I don't know why you're fighting with our ancestors, but I beg you, second brother. Don't kill our ancestors. The situation in Yanjing is very serious now. As long as our ancestors die, the situation in Yanjing will definitely change drastically. Our Su family will also decline from then on. Second brother, on account of us being brothers, I beg you, please let our ancestors go. At this moment, Su Bo arrived in front of Lin Rei and anxiously begged Lin Rei as soon as he arrived in front of him. Yes, second brother. Our Murong family is the same. Although they interfered in your matter, they only did so because they wanted the 5 great families to have peace. Huaxia only did this because of you. As long as one of the 5 great families falls, the situation in Yanjing will change. We don't want this to happen, and we don't want this to happen to you either. I beg you, second brother. Don't kill our ancestors. Please let them go. Although the 2 of them were not loud, there were always cultivators who could clearly hear their conversation. Of course, this included the 5 great ancestors. They also clearly heard the conversation between the 3 of them. When they heard the younger generation of their family address the mysterious powerhouse as second brother, they were shocked and filled with disbelief. They did not even know that they had never heard the younger generation mention that they knew such a powerful person. When the surrounding people heard the conversation between the 3 of them clearly, they were even more shocked. They did not expect that the 3 of them knew each other, and their relationship was not ordinary. This made those who wanted to watch the show feel very disappointed. They even felt a trace of fear after hearing the conversation between the 3 of them. However, Lin Rei, who had already guessed that this would happen, had an extremely ugly expression on his face at this moment. Although he had already guessed it, Lin Rei still did not want to see this kind of situation. Third brother, see, although what the 2 of you said is correct, this battle is very important to me. So, the 2 of you should leave. At this moment, although Lin Rei had resentment in his heart, when he heard his brother's pleading, Lin Rei was still very willing to fulfill the wish of others. However, this matter was related to the reason why he broke through to the next realm. So, second brother, we're begging you. If someone has to pay the price for this, then the two of us are willing to die for the ancestor. However, after we die, please let our ancestor go. At this moment, after hearing Lin Rei's reply, Su Bo and Murongyu felt very disappointed in their hearts. However, for the fate of their family, the two of them still stepped forward without hesitation. Are you forcing me? Their words made Lin Rei very sad. Lin Rei did not expect that they would say such words. Second brother, in this life, I have never begged you for anything. However, this time, I'm begging you. Please let our ancestor go. Yes, second brother, I've also said it before. Let our ancestor go. Even if they have done all sorts of wrong, for the sake of us brothers, let them go. Since the words had come to this point, Lin Rei was also very unwilling. After a moment of silence, Lin Rei finally used a sound transmission technique to tell them his purpose this time. Sigh. You two silly brats, tell me, you're pleading for me. How can I not give you face? However, I have my own difficulties. However, I can promise you that I will definitely not harm their lives. As for why, I won't tell you. In an instant, after hearing Lin Rei's words, Su Bo and Murongyu, who had originally sworn to protect their ancestor with their lives, hesitated at this moment. Alright, hurry up and leave. Don't worry, I, Lin Rei, will keep my word. This is my promise to you, and also the promise between us brothers. So, don't worry. Chapter 243. Lin Rei's promise was no different from a bet to them. After not seeing each other for 2 years, coupled with all the weird things that had happened today, they could no longer treat Lin Rei as their brother, Lin Rei. Hee. Alright, you guys hurry up and get down. Whatever I've promised you guys, I'll definitely do it. Besides, if you guys don't get down, I can't guarantee that my attack won't hurt you guys. Looking at their actions, Lin Rei was heartbroken as well. But after all, everything that had happened today had overturned their understanding of the world. Therefore, Lin Rei could understand. But the thing that he was most worried about was the lives of Su Bo and Murongyu. Lin Rei knew full well that this attack from heaven's extremity was so strong that even he wouldn't dare to take it head-on. Therefore, in order to avoid unnecessary harm, Lin Rei could only reveal his plan to the both of them. The hesitant Su Bo and Murongyu did not know what to do after hearing Lin Rei's words. After all, this was a matter of life and death for their families. Therefore, they had no choice but to proceed with caution. Alright. Second brother, remember your promise. Don't hurt the 5 old masters. Just as the both of them were hesitating, Murongyu's gaze turned resolute as he raised his head and roared at Lin Rei. Then, he pulled Su Bo and flew down. Everyone was shocked to see this, because of the relationship between the 5 patriarchs. The most shocked of all were the 5 patriarchs. They were very confused, but they didn't have the time to hesitate. Hee. The 3 of you. Are you ready? For the next attack, if you guys can withstand it, I'll let all of you go. But if you guys can't, no matter who you are, I'll kill all of you. Seeing that Su Bo and Murongyu had returned to the ground, Lin Rei could finally relax. At the same time, the barrier to Mahayana realm appeared on its own. Suddenly, Lin Rei was overjoyed. However, this kind of opportunity was not something that could be found everywhere. Therefore, Lin Rei could only end this quickly. Opportunities were not something that could be found all the time. Come on. Let us see just how powerful this attack of yours is. Upon hearing Lin Rei's words, Ouyang-ku and the other 2 revealed resolute expressions. They knew that even if they didn't want to fight, they had to brace themselves and charge forward. They had no other choice. Whoosh! Whoosh! Two sounds of something breaking through the air came from below. In the blink of an eye, Su Chu and Long Feng, who had been sent flying, arrived beside Ouyang Ku and the others with their own weapons. How can I let you bear this alone? Since it's related to everyone's lives, we're all part of it. Their actions did not surprise Ouyang Ku and the others. It was as if they had expected it. I knew that you two wouldn't leave us behind. As they spoke, the 5 patriarchs raised their weapons in front of their chests and made a blocking gesture. At the same time, they activated their cultivation methods and their spiritual chi instantly soared. The cultivation of the 5 earthly immortals was completely released at this moment. Very good. Seeing this, Lin Rei was very pleased. Normally, in such a situation, some people would escape or beg for mercy in order to save their own lives. However, their actions touched Lin Rei. Heaven's extremity, exterminate. Boom! A shocking sword chi rushed out. Then, the shocking sword chi suddenly exploded on the way to the 5 patriarchs, forming tens of thousands of sword chi. Each sword chi was much stronger than the previous Earth's extremity. The moment Lin Rei released the heaven's extremity, the originally dark night sky suddenly became bright. Under the illumination of the heaven's extremity sword chi, it was as bright as day. The scene was fascinating, but no one dared to think about it. Everyone, upon seeing Lin Li's attack, was killed. They could all sense the killing intent and the pressure of Lin Li's attack. None of them would be able to survive it. Tens of thousands of sword chi streaked across the sky like meteors. It was extremely beautiful, but each meteor had a fatal lethality. In everyone's eyes, they did not think that this was a meteor shower. Instead, they thought that this was a meteorite that could easily kill people. Tens of thousands of sword chi disappeared in a flash. After the 5 patriarchs felt this powerful attack, they all became alert. The bubble was very scared, but there was no way to escape. Everyone, use everything you've learned in your lifetime. Success or failure depends on this. Whether you live or die depends on this moment. Seeing the attack coming towards them, Long Feng couldn't help but instruct the other 4. However, his tone was full of determination, as if he didn't fear death. It was admirable. Good. Even if we don't succeed, with your mistakes, even if we die, we won't be lonely. Su Chu's words immediately caused the other 4 to be dissatisfied. However, what he said was very reasonable. Moreover, they didn't have the time to care about this at this moment. Bang bang bang, bang bang, suddenly, the entire sky was filled with the sound of weapons colliding and flesh being cut. But what was respectable was that after the 5 patriarchs' flesh was cut, they didn't scream at all. Apart from frowning, they didn't do anything else. In the sky, the 5 patriarchs were frantically using the artifacts in their hands to block Lin Li's attacks. However, it was difficult for 2 fists to fight against 4 hands. Tens of thousands of strands of sword chi, and the power of the Earth's extremity, were extremely powerful in their eyes. When the Earth's extremity was used, it was only difficult to defend. However, this was a layered version. One could imagine how powerful it was. However, at the moment when everyone's faces were filled with worry, Lin Li, who was in the sky, started to laugh. His laughter was very happy, and his eyes were filled with excitement. Ha. I've finally touched the barrier of the Mahayana stage. Finally, I can finally break through to the Mahayana stage. Ha. At this moment, Lin Li laughed out loud. His voice was unrestrained, but what Lin Li didn't know was that to others, it seemed as though he was laughing at the 5 ancestors who were currently attacking. At this moment, no one was paying attention to any of Lin Rei's actions. Right now, what they were most concerned about was the survival of the 5 patriarchs. If they died, it would be good for them. If they didn't die, then they wouldn't lose out either. Therefore, at this moment, they were silently praying that the 5 patriarchs would be killed by Lin Rei as soon as possible. Of course, some people thought this way, while others thought differently. However, they didn't notice that Lin Rei was no longer emitting any aura or cultivation base. He just stood there motionlessly in the sky. It's time. Time waits for no man. I have to make some arrangements quickly. Otherwise, they might turn around and attack me. At this moment, Lin Rei's consciousness was sensing the barrier of the Mahayana stage, and he couldn't help but think about what to do next. With a thought, Lin Rei's consciousness appeared in the cloud pagoda, in the depths of the dark section. All members of the dark section, gather here. I'll give you 3 breaths of time. If you don't show up, you will be punished according to the sect rules. Upon arriving, Lin Rei raised his head and shouted without any hesitation. 2. Whoosh, whoosh. Right after Lin Rei shouted 2, over 100 whistling sounds echoed in the air. In the blink of an eye, the empty space was filled with people after Lin Rei's count. Not long after, hundreds of people, all dressed in black, with long hair and young faces, appeared in the open space. Every one of them was as strong as the stars in this space. They were all young people with long hair and were young, but all of them had handsome faces and were as strong as the stars in this space. Not only that, but all of them had the same temperament and aura. If the 5 ancestors outside saw them, they would be scared silly. We, the dark section, pay our respects to the sect leader. After the sister-in-law, all the members of the dark section came to the open space in front of Lin Rei. They uniformly knelt on the ground and kowtowed to Lin Rei. Their voices were loud and clear. Everyone knelt on the ground in high spirits. At the same time, they looked at Lin Rei with worship in their eyes. Well, get up, all of you. Looking at the disciples of his sect, Lin Rei couldn't help but feel gratified. He couldn't help but smile. He was overjoyed. Yes, we will obey the sect leader's order. Well, I have a reason to disturb your practice today. In a while, I will let all of you out. Then, you will protect me. I want to break through to the Mahayana realm immediately. There are 5 earthly immortals outside. So, don't attack them unless you have no other choice. As long as they don't attack, you just need to protect me. Do you understand? At this moment, Lin Rei didn't hide anything. He directly told them the purpose of his visit. After all, he didn't come this time to ask for their help. We'll obey the sect leader's order. It's our honor to protect the sect leader. Don't worry, as long as all the members of the Dark Department are here, even if we all die, we won't let them touch the sect leader, even if they're experts at the earthly immortal realm. At this time, all the members of the dark section looked at Lin Rei with firm eyes. This scene moved Lin Rei greatly. Good. You guys are indeed the cornerstones of our sect. It is our sect's fortune to have you guys. After the matter was decided, Lin Rei didn't say anything. With a thought, Lin Rei's consciousness returned to his body. Phew. Come on, since I've been exposed, let's end this quickly and leave this place early. At this moment, Lin Li no longer had any guesses. Since they already knew of his strength, there was no need to hide it anymore. There was also no need to worry about finding his mother. Thinking of this, Lin Rei didn't hesitate. With a thought, he activated the cloud pagoda. Suddenly, hundreds of dark section members of the Mahayana realm appeared around Lin Rei. Boom! The moment the members of the dark section appeared, they didn't hide their cultivation. One could imagine the power of hundreds of Mahayana realm cultivators when gathered together. They were not inferior to any earth immortal powerhouse at all. In fact, they could directly crush them. The appearance of the dark section members directly affected the stability of the space. As soon as they appeared, the people who were originally paying attention to the 5 great ancestors all turned their attention to the powerhouses who suddenly appeared. However, when they looked in the direction of Lin Rei, they were all stunned for a moment. Not only that, but when the people who were flying on their swords saw the hundreds of powerhouses around Lin Rei, their legs went weak and their spiritual power disappeared instantly. They directly fell to the ground from the sky. It was even more so for the 5 great ancestors. Originally, they were still resisting the sword chi coming out of the celestial extremity. Suddenly, a huge pressure appeared, causing them to look in the direction of the pressure. In the end, they were taken aback by the fact that so many experts had appeared out of thin air. It was an unimaginable number of experts. What's going on? How could there be so many Mahayana realm cultivators? There must be hundreds of them. At this time, Long Feng was dumbfounded. He had never seen so many Mahayana realm cultivators. Even though he was an Earth Immortal powerhouse, he couldn't help but be afraid of such a lineup. I don't know, but this time, we seem to have kicked an iron plate. Among the 5 great ancestors, Ouyang seemed to have discovered something and said to the other 4. What? You mean? At this time, Su Chu seemed to have realized what Ouyang wanted to say and looked at them in disbelief. His eyes were full of shock. I think so. Didn't you see that the way they look at that young man is a little different? Their eyes are full of admiration and respect. For them, this is a look that they wouldn't even show when they see an Earth Immortal powerhouse. Do you think they would show such a look if they weren't that young man's subordinates? After hearing Ouyang's words, the great ancestors were immediately regretful. They regretted that they had so recklessly offended a powerful cultivator who could crush them. However, on the ground, Lin Rei's brothers, Su Bo and Murong Yu, were even more shocked than them. The moment the hundreds of Dark Department members appeared, they looked over. However, when they saw the hundreds of powerhouses, their hearts were filled with shame. As soon as the news appeared, some people on the periphery immediately spread the news. As the saying goes, good things don't go out, but bad things spread far and wide. For them, this was the worst thing that could happen. 1 spread to 10, 10 to 100, 100 to 1,000, and 1,000 to 10,000. Just like that, it didn't take long for everyone in the Huaxia cultivation world to know about this scene. Who doesn't have a temper, let alone Long Feng, who is an Earth Immortal? After listening to Ouyang's complaints, Long Feng was not willing to do anything. All right, we are all brothers. Don't let this affect our previous relationship. At this moment, they were like kindergartners arguing over something. They looked very cute. Don't worry. I won't take your lives, so you don't have to worry about it. But if you want revenge, you can come to me at any time. Of course, when you come to me for revenge, no matter who pleads for you, I won't let you go. At this moment, Lin Rei, who was about to break through, said to them with a bloodthirsty smile after hearing their words. His tone was cold and emotionless. No, we wouldn't dare to take revenge on you, senior. Even if you lend us several guts, we wouldn't dare to. The sudden words gave the quarreling 5 people a fright. At this moment, the 5 of them were trembling all over. They lowered their heads in fear and did not dare to raise their heads. Cold sweat flowed down their foreheads uncontrollably at this moment. However, Lin Rei's words did make their tense hearts relax at this moment. But the fear in their hearts could not be stopped. All right, don't be so scared. I'm not going to kill you. Looking at the 5 earthly immortals, Lin Rei could not help but laugh in his heart. Whoosh! 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 Several sounds were heard. In an instant, 5 streamers flew out from Lin Rei's hand and pierced through the sky to the 5 ancestors. How could the 5 ancestors not take them? First, because they did not dare to. Second, because the things in front of them were the supreme-grade spirit stones that Lin Rei took out before. These things were like stones to Lin Rei, but to the 5 ancestors, they were simply extraordinary treasures. The reason why he did not kill you was that he did not want the 5 families to lose balance and did not want outsiders to take advantage of them. Therefore, your lives are very important. Quickly absorb these 5 spirit stones to restore your strength. Really? Are you really going to let us absorb them? At this time, the 5 ancestors thought that they had misheard. Their 5 senses confirmed it again. They were not the only ones. Even the cultivators who had arrived around them had greedy looks in their eyes as they stared at the spirit stones in the hands of the 5 great ancestors. This kind of thing was especially sought after on planet Aqua Blue, which was already extremely scarce. It was almost priceless. What made them even more surprised was that this mysterious expert had casually taken out 5 pieces and given them to the enemies who were still fighting. This made them very puzzled, and at the same time, envious. As the saying went, greedy people's desires were often the strongest. As for their lives, in their eyes, they could not resist their desire to snatch them away. That's right. Today's matter was caused by me, so this is compensation for you. If you don't want it, I can take it. Yes, we want it. Senior, we want it. Just as Lin Ray was about to say that he wanted to take back the spirit stones, the 5 ancestors became anxious. They could not wait to have this kind of treasure, so how could they reject it? Before Lin Li could finish speaking, the 5 patriarchs' faces were filled with worry. They directly cut off Lin Ray's words. Looking at them, Lin Ray did not laugh at them. Instead, he deeply sympathized with them. All right, in that case, hurry up and absorb it. Oh, right. Are any of you from the Ouyang family? What? Just when they thought that there was no time, this sudden sentence stunned the 5 ancestors. Among them, Ouyang Ku's expression changed instantly. I said, are any of you from the Ouyang family? This voice could be heard clearly even if one covered their ears. Among the 5 ancestors, Ouyang Ku, who was among them, felt a chill in his heart. He had a bad feeling. Say. Senior, I am the Ouyang families. Ouyang Ku, the ancestor of the Ouyang family. May I know why you are looking for me? Oh. You are the ancestor of the Ouyang family? At this moment, after hearing that this person was the ancestor of the Ouyang family, they couldn't help but take a few more glances at him. There's nothing else. I just want to say that when you return to the Ouyang family, help me ask if there are any of Ouyang Jing's men. If there are, then they must come back unscathed. But you must remember that they must be unscathed. If I find out that they have even the slightest injury, I will make all the people who hurt her die without a burial place. At this point, Lin Ray didn't want to stay there any longer. Time was tight, and he couldn't waste any more time here. Therefore, the only way now was to find his mother as soon as possible. However, if there are no injuries and she is not in the Ouyang family, help me find her. Even if you have to search every corner of this planet, I will find her. Ouyang Jing. At this time, an unfamiliar yet familiar voice entered the ears of the 5 ancestors, but they couldn't recall who it was. Yes. Yes, Senior. In a while, my family will help you find Ouyang Jing. If there are any, I will immediately send her to you. Sigh, I hope that Ouyang Jing is not in the Ouyang family. Even if she is there, she must be fine. Don't let anything happen to her. If she is really there, I am afraid that the family is finished. At this time, Ouyang Ku couldn't help but pray that Ouyang Jing was not in the Ouyang family. He was very anxious. All right, I hope so. Also, the 5 great families, help me find her. As long as you can help me find Ouyang Jing, I will give you as many immortal weapons and spiritual stones as you want. But don't try to be sneaky. If I find out that you are disrespectful to her, I will make sure that you die. At this time, Lin Ray released the news of finding his mother. He believed that this group of greedy people would definitely help him find his mother in the face of so many things. Moreover, they would help him regardless of the situation. Yes, we will also follow your orders. Suddenly, a voice that shook the sky penetrated the moment Lin Ray finished speaking. Everyone present revealed a look of joy as they looked at Lin Ray. At the same time, they were thinking about the reward that Lin Ray promised. Seeing this effect, Lin Ray was very satisfied. After nodding to the people around him, his gaze shifted to Su Bo and Murongyu on the ground. Whoosh! Lin Ray's hand instantly pushed towards Su Bo and Murongyu. Suddenly, a large hand formed by spiritual energy appeared in front of Su Bo and Murongyu. After gently grabbing the two of them, it flew towards Lin Ray's direction. Soon, the two of them arrived in front of Lin Ray in the blink of an eye under the spiritual energy hand. Hee, you guys also have this kind of cultivation now. Since we're brothers, then today, I'll give you guys an opportunity. As for whether you can grab hold of it and break through, that will depend on your comprehension ability. At this moment, Su Bo and Murongyu, who were being hit by the spiritual energy hand, were confused. After Lin Ray's words entered their ears, the two of them immediately revealed excited smiles on their faces. Hee, second brother, I knew that you wouldn't think of us when something good happens. At this moment, Su Bo was already extremely excited. Thank you, second brother. I wonder what kind of opportunity second brother will give us. At this moment, after hearing Lin Ray's words, Murongyu very calmly asked Lin Ray. Hee, you'll know when we arrive. I guarantee that this trip won't be in vain. At this moment, Lin Ray was very anxious in his heart because he had already felt that the heavenly tribulation was about to arrive. Therefore, he didn't say much. After giving orders to the few hundred members of the dark group, he brought Su Bo and the others with him and teleported away, disappearing from everyone's sight. In an instant, the few hundred people disappeared under everyone's gaze. The place that was originally full of pressure completely relaxed at this moment. Sigh. These two children are really lucky to be able to be brothers with such a strong person. They're really too lucky. At this moment, after seeing Lin Ray and the others disappear, Long Feng, who was in the air, looked at the place where Lin Ray disappeared with eyes full of envy and couldn't help but mutter. Ha, of course. Don't you know whose descendant it is? How can my, Su Chu's, descendant be bad? Hearing Long Feng's mutter, Su Chu, who was at the side, couldn't help but raise his proud head and say smugly. My Murong family isn't bad either. If I'm not wrong, the one who's with your descendant seems to be the Ouyang family's genius of this generation, Murongyu. The two of us are about the same, so don't show off in front of me. When the two of them were confronting each other, they didn't notice that the three people around them were looking at the two of them with resentment in their eyes. They looked as if they wanted to come forward and kill the two of them. Alright, I won't talk to you anymore. I have to hurry back and see if there's a person called Ouyang Jing in the Ouyang family. I hope there isn't. If there really is, then my Ouyang family is really finished. At this moment, Ouyang didn't feel relaxed because of Lin Ray's departure. Instead, after Lin Ray left, he became even more nervous. Yes. Cultivation, don't chat here. Hurry up and go back home. According to what that expert said, this person called Ouyang Jing is very important to him. Therefore, even if we have to turn out in full force, we have to find Ouyang Jing. That's right. After everyone agreed, their bodies began to fade in the air. Not long after, the clansmen completely disappeared from their original positions. Some of the surrounding rogue cultivators were ready to come forward and snatch the spirit stones, but this scene happened. In the end, they could only give up. When they realized that the curtains had fallen, the group of people gradually left the Su family's villa. However, they began to search for a person called Ouyang Jing all over the world for Lin Ray's reward. This reward was something that no one would dare to admit. If it was someone else who said this, they definitely wouldn't believe it. However, after seeing Lin Ray's battle and seeing the weapons that he had displayed, they already firmly believed in Lin Ray's reward. Of course, even if there wasn't any reward, as long as they could follow Lin Ray, even if there wasn't any reward, they could still do whatever they wanted in the cultivation world. Chapter 245. At this time, the Su family's villa was no longer as lively as before. After Lin Rei left, everyone left separately. As for those cultivators who had rushed over after receiving the news, after arriving at the Su family's villa, they realized that they were late. Then, they left with a stomach full of dissatisfaction. At this time, a terrifying wave of people searching for a person in Huaxia was set off. Everyone who had a cultivation base was looking for a person called Ouyang Jing. Although they didn't know why they were looking for him, the people who gave them the order were all top cultivators. Therefore, they didn't dare to disobey. At this time, in a desert on planet Aqua Blue, a group of young men wearing black clothes with long braids suddenly appeared. Hee, there shouldn't be anyone who would disturb or destroy the surroundings because of the tribulation, causing panic in the surroundings, right? The young man leading the group was Lin Rei, who had just left with Su Bo and Murongyu after the battle with the 5 Earth Immortals. When Lin Rei was preparing to undergo the tribulation, he had already decided that he couldn't undergo the tribulation in a place with people or buildings. This was because he didn't want to affect the innocent people around him. Moreover, the lightning tribulation during the tribulation was relatively strong. He didn't want to hurt those innocent people who didn't know how to cultivate because of him. At this time, when he raised his head and looked into the distance, he saw that there was sand everywhere. Other than sand, there was only the thick and sturdy cactus that lived in the desert. At this time, it was no longer night. After Lin Rei and the 5 Earth Immortals finished their battle, the sky had already turned white. The sun had already hung high in the sky, and there was no longer the coolness of the night. Damn, second brother, the opportunity you were talking about, it can't be in this desert, right? At this time, Su Bo and Murongyu had followed Lin Li here as well. However, when the two of them saw that Lin Li had said that the fortuitous encounter was in the desert, Su Bo didn't want to believe him and casually asked. At this time, Murongyu was also very curious about this question, but he did not ask it. Coincidentally, at this time, Su Bo asked it, so his head also came over, wanting to see Lin Rei's explanation. That's right. The opportunity is in this desert, but not now. Anyway, you are all cultivators and are not afraid of the temperature of the sun. Therefore, waiting for a few days is not too much. I believe that when you see the opportunity again, you will definitely thank me. At that moment, Lin Rei, who had regained his senses and heard his brother's questions, explained Lin Rei to them with a smile. Then where is this? I don't remember there being a desert so close to Beijing. After hearing Lin Rei's words, Su Bo subconsciously chose to believe him. After all, they were still brothers. Therefore, after hearing Lin Rei's words, he didn't question it. However, he still needed to understand this unfamiliar environment. Oh. Here. If I remember correctly, this should be the largest desert, the Sahara Desert. Lin Rei's words directly caused Su Bo, who was originally prepared to accept reality, to fall backwards after hearing Lin Rei's words. His eyes turned white, and he looked like he was about to die. Damn, just this little bit of endurance. Isn't it just the Sahara Desert? For a cultivator like you, is it so terrifying? At this time, seeing Su Bo's big reaction, Lin Rei really despised him from the bottom of his heart. Looking at Murongyu, who had always been obedient beside him, it was simply the difference between heaven and earth. Second brother, you are really special. You actually came here. Just when he had some expectations for him, Murongyu suddenly said such a sentence. Immediately, Lin Rei couldn't take it anymore. Hey, what's going on with you guys? I gave you guys an opportunity, and you guys are still nitpicking here and there. Let me tell you, an opportunity like mine is something that even a cultivator who has gone through a tribulation with combination would want. If we weren't brothers, even if your ancestor was an earth immortal, I wouldn't give a damn about him even if he was a celestial immortal. It could be seen that at this time, Lin Rei was a little angry, and there was a little bit of unhappiness in his heart. This. At this time, Muronyu had already seen Lin Rei's anger, but there was no other way. Since the words had already been said, there was no reason to take them back. Alas. Well, you guys don't complain anymore. You guys follow them to the surroundings. However, you have to remember that without my permission, you are not allowed to come within 8 miles of me. Remember my words, this is a matter of life and death. I don't want to bring people when I come. Sometimes, I bring corpses. At this moment, Lin Rei didn't say anything more. After telling Muronyu about the dangerous elements in the future, he motioned for the dark group to take the 2 people away. Remember, protect them well. Don't let them come to any harm. And you guys, without my permission, you are not allowed to come close. Protect yourselves well. I don't want any of you to die, because you are all my brothers, Lin Rei. We swear to follow the sect leader to the death. We are willing to go through water and tread on fire for the sect leader. Suddenly, after hearing Lin Rei's words, hundreds of people of the dark group had tears in their eyes. They knelt on the ground and shouted in a voice that shook the immortal firmament. Their voices were filled with endless emotions, and Lin Rei heard them clearly. Good. Lin Rei, have you guys? That's really a blessing for me, Lin Rei. Alright, you guys hurry up and retreat. Wait for a moment. I'll bring you guys to the cultivation world and let you see the light again. You don't have to stay in the dark cloud pagoda anymore. Hearing Lin Rei's order, hundreds of people of the dark group stood up and bowed to Lin Rei. Then, they brought the unconscious Su Bo and the sober Muronyu and pushed them into the distance. In an instant, hundreds of people disappeared in the blink of an eye. When they reappeared, they were already 10 miles away. Let's begin. Let me see how strong and abnormal the second level of the primal chaos scripture is. At this moment, when he saw that there was no one around, Lin Rei took out a praying mat from his storage ring and placed it on the desert. Then, he sat down on it. In an instant, he entered the selfless realm. After entering the selfless realm, he no longer had any perception of anything outside. Lin Rei had already calculated that after entering the selfless realm, he could feel the Tendo law faster. At the same time, he could also break through the barrier of the Mahayana realm faster. Therefore, at this moment, Lin Rei had been waiting for. Now, it had finally come true. At this moment, any movement in the surroundings could no longer affect Lin Rei. At this moment, 10 miles away, Muronyu looked at all of this with a puzzled expression. He didn't know what Lin Rei was doing. Hey, brother, what do you think my second brother is doing now? Can he give us an opportunity just by sitting there? At this moment, after thinking about it for a long time, Muronyu couldn't figure it out. Therefore, Muronyu shifted his target to the people of the dark tribe beside him. Fellow Taoist, my sect master is currently seeking a breakthrough. The reason why he is sitting there is because he has entered a wonderful realm. In this realm, it can speed up a cultivator's cultivation speed. At the same time, it can also sense some of the surrounding energy. As for what opportunity the sect master will give you, you will know when the time comes. The people of the dark tribe who heard Murong Chen's question didn't want to answer at first. However, at least Lin Rei said that he wanted to protect their personal safety. Therefore, they were very important to Lin Rei. Because of this, the people of the dark tribe explained Lin Rei's current situation to Muronyu. Of course, after Muronyu heard it, he nodded as if he understood. As for whether he moved or not, he didn't care at all. As Lin Rei meditated and cultivated, a day passed just like that. Half a day after Lin Rei entered a meditative state, Su Bo, who had fainted, woke up from his deep sleep. After fainting, everything that happened, the conversation between them, was told to Su Bo, who had just woken up. After that, the two of them were silent. They kept staring at Lin Rei, who was 10 meters away, with eyes full of doubt. time passed little by little. Lin Rei had already been in a meditative state for 3 days. During these 3 days, a lot of things happened, especially in the Ouyang family. In Ouyang-ku, following Lin Rei's instructions, after returning to the family, he immediately gathered the current elders and family head and began to interrogate them. In the end, what made Ouyang-ku panic was that they really knew Lin Rei's daughter, Ouyang-jing. Moreover, what made Ouyang-ku most surprised was that Ouyang-jing was his descendant. Similarly, she was also a direct descendant of the family. Moreover, she was the current family head, Ouyang-ting's younger sister. Similarly, she was also the previous family head's most beloved daughter. However, what gave them a headache was that 2 years ago, Ouyang-jing went to Ouyang-ting and begged him. However, in the end, she was rejected by Ouyang-ting. Later, Ouyang-ting regretted it and secretly protected Ouyang-jing's children, Lin Rei and Lin Ro. However, they were intercepted by someone. What they didn't know was that the person who intercepted Ouyang-ting, Lin Feng, was the person Ouyang-ku was most afraid of, Lin Rei. After Ouyang-ku found out about this, he removed Ouyang-ting from his position as family head and let the previous family head take over the position of family head. Everyone in the Ouyang family was mobilized and began to search for Ouyang-jing. Meanwhile, in another villa, Long Feng was sitting on the sofa and looking at the group of people standing in front of him angrily. Let me tell you, Ouyang-jing is the person that the strong person wants to see. Therefore, no matter what method you use, you must not let Ouyang-jing tell the strong person that you have locked her up. Do you know that? At this time, Long Feng was extremely angry. After he returned to the family, he began to investigate. In the end, what made Long Feng unlucky was that Ouyang-jing was in his own family. Moreover, Long Feng went to see her. There were many wounds on her body and countless bruises. At a glance, it was obvious that she had been abused for a long time. At this moment, Long Feng was completely dumbfounded. He didn't know what to do. Ouyang-jing's injuries were caused by the younger generation of his family. As their ancestor, he was responsible. However, at this moment, Long Feng's legs couldn't help but tremble when he thought about the previous battle. All right, you must solve this matter for me no matter what. Most importantly, you must not let the strong person know that we have abused Ouyang-jing. Therefore, for the next period of time, you must take good care of Ouyang-jing. It's best if you let her know that this is all a misunderstanding. At this moment, Long Feng didn't know what to say. The only thing he could do was to serve Ouyang-jing well and not let Ouyang-jing know that the Long family kidnapped her in front of the strong person. That ancestor. Ouyang-jing can't be released. She is the woman that my brother has always liked. Moreover, she betrayed the Long family more than 20 years ago because of him. However, not long after my brother escaped, he was found by my father. He used Ouyang-jing's life to threaten my brother. In the end, my brother returned to the Long family and became the head of the family. Before that, that woman returned to Beijing. Therefore, for my brother's sake, I tied her up. As for her injuries, they are. At this moment, after hearing Long Shi's words, Long Feng finally understood why Ouyang-jing was here. However, when he heard the last sentence of his junior, Long Feng was stunned. Slap. A loud slap was heard in the room. The middle-aged man who spoke held his face as blood flowed out from his mouth. He looked at the ancestor who slapped him with a dumbfounded expression. This matter was caused by you acting on your own initiative. Therefore, when that expert returns, you will have to wait for him to return. When the strong person returns, go out and admit your guilt. I can't let the whole family be buried with you just because of you. So, only you can go out and apologize. Only then can you extinguish the anger of that senior. As for the current head of the family, let him go to Ouyang-jing and plead for mercy for you. Perhaps, you can still be spared from death. At this moment, Lin Rei, who was meditating in the Sahara Desert, had no idea that his mother had suffered so much. Of course. What surprised Lin Rei even more was that he had the blood of both the Ouyang family and the Long family flowing in his body. However, even if he knew, Lin Rei would still feel disdain. At this moment, Lin Rei's nervous face revealed a smile. Suddenly, dark clouds appeared in the originally clear sky. A monstrous pressure appeared at this moment. Ha! Ha 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 ha! Suddenly, Linley, who had his eyes tightly shut, opened them as the dark clouds descended. His gaze flashed as he raised his head to look at the sky. His eyes were filled with an arrogant will as he raised his head to the sky and laughed loudly. Third brother, see, watch carefully. The following lightning tribulation will be of great help to your cultivation in the future. Therefore, you have to observe carefully, but also moderately. If you feel that you can't do it, give up. Chapter 246. At this moment, when Lin Rei was preparing to go through the tribulation, he suddenly remembered that he hadn't told Su Bo and Murong Yu about the opportunity. Thus, Lin Rei stood up, put away the praying mat, and said to Su Bo and Murong Yu, who were 10 miles away. What? At this moment, when Su Bo and Murong Yu heard Lin Rei's words, they were immediately shocked. To them, watching an expert go through the tribulation was a supreme honor, and it was also the best way for them to find a way to break through in the future. Therefore, they didn't expect that the opportunity that Lin Rei gave them was actually about this matter. The moment they heard about Linley's fortuitous encounter, a sense of guilt welled up in their hearts. Thinking about how they had doubted him previously, the two of them felt so ashamed that they were unable to show their faces. We know, second brother. Don't worry about going through the tribulation. We still know our own endurance, and we won't act recklessly. When we reach the limit, we will stop. At this moment, Murong Yu, who was the calmest among them, quickly regained his senses and replied to Lin Rei. However, the guilt in his heart towards Lin Rei was even greater. In order to not delay Lin Rei's tribulation, Murong Yu could only reply. Hee, then you guys have to watch carefully. Maybe after watching me go through the tribulation, you guys can comprehend something from it. Maybe you can break through on the spot. Looking at their appearance, Lin Rei knew that after they knew about the opportunity that he gave them, they would feel a sense of guilt towards him. However, this wasn't what Lin Rei wanted. Therefore, regarding this, Lin Rei didn't care at all. After finishing his words, Lin Rei raised his head and looked at the sky. Thunder rumbled and the thunder tribulation clouds rolled endlessly. He couldn't help but feel excited in his heart. His eyes were filled with fighting spirit as he looked at the tribulation clouds in the sky. His face couldn't help but reveal an evil smile. Oh, tribulation cloud, I want to see how strong you are. Logically speaking, the tribulation cloud is so strong and has so much spiritual energy. If it swallows the tribulation cloud, it might have a different effect. At this time, although Lin Rei had an evil smile on his face, in his heart, he was thinking about something that others would never dare to think about in their lifetime. If this matter was known by the old monsters of the cultivation world, they would definitely be scared silly by Lin Rei's bold thoughts. However, at this time, 10 meters away, Su Bo raised his head and looked at Lin Rei, who was preparing to transcend the tribulation. The guilt on his face became more and more intense. Sigh. I didn't expect that second brother would be so considerate of us, and I had doubted him before, sigh. I'm ashamed. Hee. After Murong Yu heard Su Bo's words, he turned around and said to him, It's good that you know. I'm afraid that it will be very difficult to repay second brother's kindness in the future. Not to mention letting the 5 old ancestors go because of our face, just based on this matter alone, the two of us can no longer afford to repay it. At this time, after hearing Murong Yu's words, the two of them had a worried look on their faces. Rumble, 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 rumble. Suddenly, just as the two of them were talking, the sound of rolling thunder came from the sky. Suddenly, in this space, other than the sound of thunder, there was no other sound to be worried about. Accompanied by the rolling thunder, the pressure began to climb at this moment. Originally, it was only 8 miles of pressure. But now, it suddenly rose to 10 meters. Rumble, 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 suddenly, the pressure descended. Murongyu and Subo, who were originally worrying about Lin Rei's matter, were instantly crushed to the ground by the pressure of the tribulation. They lay motionless on the sand. What the F***ck is this tribulation? How could it be so strong? Just the pressure alone is so strong that it can directly suppress the two of us to the ground? At this moment, Subo's heart was filled with shock as he lay on the ground. His back was facing Murongyu, who was beside him, and his voice was filled with shock as he asked. Ugh. I say, are you F***king retarded from the pressure? You don't even know that I'm in the same realm as you. I'm also someone who lives here. How much more can I know than you? Hearing Subo's words, Murongyu replied helplessly to Subo. He looked at the back of Subo's head speechlessly. He had the impulse to go up and give him a chestnut, but his body was suppressed by the pressure of the tribulation. So, he could only think about it. I'm sorry. I've let the two of you suffer. I didn't know that the pressure of the Grand Master's tribulation would be so strong. It's tens of times stronger than the tribulation we go through. So, I didn't come back to my senses for a moment. Just as the two of them were discussing, 2 members of the Dark Department walked up and used their cultivation base and pressure to block the pressure of the tribulation on Subo and Murongyu. Although the effect wasn't very good, it was still better than them lying on the ground. The two of you will suffer a little first. As long as you leave here, everything will be fine. After saying that, the 2 members of the Dark Department followed Murongyu and Subo's footsteps and walked towards a place where there was no pressure. However, what was very unpleasant was that Subo and Murongyu could only walk with their backs bent. So, the two of them didn't walk very fast, but there was nothing they could do. Very quickly, the two of them arrived at a place where the pressure of the heavenly tribulation didn't extend. This is not enough for me to use my weapon or any martial arts. With that, Lin Rei stomped on the ground with one foot. In an instant, he jumped up and punched towards the incoming tribulation lightning. Boom! When Linley's fist collided with the lightning tribulation, the scene of Linley being sent flying did not appear. Instead, to everyone's surprise, the lightning tribulation, which was as thick as an arm, began to slowly disperse, finally disappearing into the air. Ha ha ha, come on. Come on. Let me see how powerful you are. I'm not even afraid of earthly immortals. Sometimes, I'm afraid of your tribulation lightning. Seeing that the first tribulation lightning had disappeared, Lin Rei's fighting spirit soared. He looked at the sky arrogantly and cursed. Boom. Boom. As if sensing Lin Rei's provocation, the tribulation lightning became angry at this moment. In an instant, as soon as Lin Rei finished his words, 2 bolts of tribulation lightning, which were twice as thick and twice as powerful as the first one, rushed out of the thunderclouds and blasted towards Lin Rei, who was standing in the sky. Have you learned your lesson? You know what I want, so you sent 2 bolts of tribulation lightning at once. Seeing that the pressure in the sky had increased dramatically, Lin Rei didn't care and rushed out, aiming at the 2 bolts of tribulation lightning. Boom. Just like before, the 2 bolts of tribulation lightning didn't seem to be able to stop Lin Rei's indomitable fist. After the tribulation lightning and the fist collided together, they disappeared into the air. And this scene was seen by the people of the Dark Department, Subo, and Murongyu not far away. For a moment, everyone's brain short-circuited. Because, in their knowledge, to be able to do this, to be able to directly disperse the tribulation lightning, other than Lin Rei, they had never seen anyone else do it before. Third brother, second brother is so strong that it defies the heavens. He fought against 5 earthly immortals alone, and now he's punching the tribulation lightning. I really don't know what else second brother can't do. At this moment, after seeing Lin Rei's actions, Murongyu couldn't help but say to Subo, who was next to him. Hee, look. I believe that second brother will give us an even bigger surprise. However, the most important thing for us now is to sit down cross-legged, circulate our cultivation method, and comprehend second brother's every move. Maybe we can comprehend something from it. And the tribulation lightning that second brother scattered before seemed to have turned into spiritual chi. Don't you feel that the spiritual chi in the surroundings is rising rapidly? At that moment, after Subo finished telling Murongyu about the changes that had occurred in the surroundings, he sat down on the ground. He completely ignored the temperature of the sand, activated his cultivation technique, and began to experience the scene of Linley resisting against the lightning tribulation. You're right. Seeing Subo's actions, Murongyu also sat up and began to comprehend. At this moment, Lin Rei's face was no longer as calm as before. Generally speaking, the beginning of the tribulation lightning was the weakest, but just now, Lin Rei felt that the power of the 2 bolts of tribulation lightning was more powerful than the tribulation lightning during the previous tribulation lightning. It wasn't just 1 or 2 times stronger. It seems that I've been too pretentious this time. I didn't expect that the tribulation lightning of breaking through to the Mahayana realm would be so strong. At this moment, Lin Rei's face was filled with a bitter smile and helplessness, but there was no other way. Who asked him to provoke the tribulation lightning like that before? There must be a cause, and since he had planted the cause, he had to bear the consequences. Boom. Gotcha. The second tribulation lightning had just been dispersed by Lin Rei, and before it stopped, the third tribulation lightning rushed down. However, this time, Lin Rei's eyes no longer had a look of contempt. At this moment, Lin Rei's eyes were filled with caution and seriousness as he looked at the tribulation lightning that was rushing towards him. It seems that the tribulation lightning written about is really not ordinary. This is only the third tribulation lightning. I didn't expect it to be so thick. It seems that the tribulation lightning after this will be even more ferocious. At this moment, Lin Rei really wanted to slap himself twice. He had nothing better to do than provoke the tribulation lightning. Since you're already like this, then I have to show my sincerity. Otherwise, I'll be letting you down. At this moment, Lin Rei was not dispirited by the strength of the tribulation lightning. Instead, at this moment, Lin Rei was filled with fighting spirit. The fighting spirit in his body soared to a new high, reaching a kind of bottleneck. Star finger, destroy for me. After Lin Rei roared, the color of the fingers on his right hand began to change into a golden color. Before, it was only a faint golden color and was not very obvious, but at this moment, his fingers had turned completely golden. Ha! Lin Rei shouted and rushed up to the sky, aiming at the third tribulation lightning. Seeing that Lin Rei was close at hand, Lin Rei activated his martial arts technique. His left hand turned into a golden color and directly poked at the tribulation lightning. Bow. Perhaps it was the prelude of the tribulation lightning, but it was not that strong. Therefore, when Lin Rei's finger poked at it, the tribulation lightning instantly dispersed. Even if it's dispersed, I'll still keep you in my body. I want to see what the consequences of provoking me are. At this moment, after Lin Rei defeated the tribulation lightning, he did not want to let go of the scattered tribulation lightning that was scattered in the sky. Devouring Heaven spell, activate for me. In an instant, another martial arts technique, Devouring Heaven spell, was activated at this moment. A terrifying aura spread out from Lin Rei's body and swept in all directions. The tribulation lightning that was defeated by Lin Rei seemed to be caught by something the moment the Devouring Heaven spell was activated. It began to slowly gather towards Lin Rei. The moment it reached Lin Rei's body, it drilled into Lin Rei's body and began to nourish his body that had already reached the peak of the Bejeweled Tool realm. It was also at this moment that the peak of the Bejeweled Tool realm began to slowly transform, advancing towards a new realm. Although the speed was very slow, Lin Rei was very happy in his heart. Chapter 247. Feeling that his body was really transforming, Lin Rei's desire for the thunder tribulation increased again. Looking up at the thunder tribulation, which was covered with dark clouds and rising purple chi, Lin Rei's eyes were full of desire and greed, as if he was looking at a peerless treasure. Ha ha ha, come on, the more the better. Come on. At this time, Lin Rei was roaring at the thunder clouds above his head like a madman, looking very scary. Boom. Boom. At this time, the thunder tribulation had been completely infuriated by Lin Rei. It did not act according to common sense like before. After being completely enraged by Lin Rei, the thunder tribulation instantly sent down more than a dozen thunder tribulations. Each thunder tribulation was much stronger and more terrifying than the previous one. Looking at the dozen thunder tribulations in the sky, Zhou Bao instantly released his cultivation and his fighting spirit soared to the peak. The martial emperor divine spear instantly appeared in his hand. Looking at the thunder tribulation rushing towards him, Lin Rei directly rushed towards the dozen thunder tribulations without any anger in his eyes. Silent thunder spear skill, thunder technique, ultimate kill. In an instant, after Lin Rei rushed to a certain height, the martial emperor divine spear, which had not been used until now, moved at this moment. In an instant, hundreds of spear shadows rushed out of the shackles of the martial emperor divine spear and rushed directly towards the dozen thunder tribulations. Break for me. In an instant, the martial emperor divine spear collided with the thunder tribulation. A strange situation appeared in the sky. The moment the martial emperor divine spear collided with the thunder tribulation, the spear's shadows exploded. A magnificent scene appeared in the sky, which would make people addicted to it and unable to extricate themselves from it. And so, just like that, after blocking the first 3 waves of tribulation lightning, Lin Li began to devour them. Slowly, the 4th wave. By the time Lin Li reached the 79th wave of tribulation lightning, finally, Lin Li couldn't hold on any longer. He was smashed into the desert by the tribulation lightning. Bang! This was a lightning tribulation that no one had ever seen before. It was a thick purple lightning tribulation that was filled with pressure. Lin Rei was sure that even an Earth Immortal expert might not be able to release such pressure. However, what Lin Rei couldn't figure out was that this thunder tribulation had appeared when he was undergoing the Mahayana thunder tribulation. At this time, after Lin Rei was blasted into the desert by the thunder tribulation, the ground was directly blasted by the thunder tribulation into a huge pit of more than 20 meters. The surroundings were scorched black and unrecognizable. The originally golden killing intent of the desert was now unrecognizable. Lin Rei, who had been struck, was currently lying in the middle of the huge crater with his face up and head down. At this moment, Lin Rei's hair had been blown up by the lightning tribulation and was standing up. It looked very funny. Cough, 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 cough. A cough came from Lin Rei's mouth. When Lin Rei coughed, a plume of black smoke came out of his mouth. *CK, I didn't expect this, I didn't expect this. This thunder tribulation can actually pass through the fairy weapon and hit me directly. At this time, Lin Rei's eyes were filled with astonishment and doubt. He looked up at the thundercloud that was brewing the 81st thunder tribulation and couldn't help but blurt out these words. After Lin Li was blasted into the ground by the tribulation lightning, Su Bo, Murongyu, and the hundreds of dark ones who were 10 meters away all had nervous expressions on their faces as they looked at the huge crater created by the tribulation lightning in the desert. At this moment, they were very worried that something would happen to Lin Rei. It was not that they didn't believe in Lin Rei's strength, but they believed more in the power of the thunder tribulation. Therefore, it was inevitable that they were worried. At this time, Lin Rei stood up from the huge crater with difficulty. He looked up at the sky and saw that the thundercloud had begun to brew. When he thought of the thunder tribulation, his heart was slowly filled with fear, but more of it was filled with anticipation. Even if you pass through the fairy weapon, so what? Don't think that I will be afraid of you and submit. If that's what you think, then you are wrong. So, come on. Let me see how strong your thunder tribulation is. At this time, the madness in Lin Rei's heart could no longer be expressed with words. BZZT, 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 BZZT. At this moment, Lin Rei, who was originally shining brightly, had become as black as ink. His body was filled with black fog that floated around Lin Rei's body. I haven't really used my full strength since the last breakthrough. I didn't expect that the first time would be a Mahayana realm thunder tribulation. At this time, Lin Rei was in the huge crater. His eyes were crimson, and the black fog around him was very compatible with Lin Rei's current appearance. Coupled with his evil smile, Lin Rei couldn't help but feel a chill in the heart. Heavenly Devil / I didn't expect that the last time I used you was in the profound heaven realm. What I didn't expect is that I can use you again in this place where I used to live. It seems like it really is. Rumble, rumble. The moment the purple thunder tribulation in the sky sensed the black fog around Lin Rei, the pressure of the thunder tribulation skyrocketed and reached a critical point. It was as if the black fog around Lin Rei had not been recognized by the thunder tribulation. It felt that if it didn't eliminate it now, there would be endless troubles in the future. I'm sure that if second brother had used this move back then, not to mention the 5 old ancestors, even us and those who came to watch would have been destroyed by this move just now. Even if we wanted to leave behind a remnant of our souls and want to be reborn, that would be wishful thinking. Hearing Si and Murong-Yu's words, Su Bo couldn't help but speak out everything that he had seen, felt, and comprehended just now. Even when he was answering Murong-Yu, the fear in Su Bo's eyes and the trembling of his body showed that the current him was very, very afraid. Looks like second brother really didn't have any money for us back then. He really didn't want to kill the 5 old ancestors. If he wanted to kill them, he wouldn't have had to wait for us to plead for mercy. At this moment, Su Bo and Murong-Yu felt extremely guilty towards Lin Rei. When they thought of how they didn't trust him before, the guilt in their hearts increased by a bit. All right. Hurry up and watch. This is a rare opportunity, and it's also an opportunity that second brother gave us. We can't disappoint second brother's good intentions. As for what happened before, we'll use our lives to repay second brother in the future. At this moment, Su Bo had already thought it through. At this moment, what they should do the most was to watch the tribulation, and not discuss how to repay and make it up to Lin Rei. I understand. Hearing third brother Su Bo's words, Murong-Yu hurriedly raised his head and paid attention to Lin Rei's every move in the sky. He began to comprehend the special energy in the thunder tribulation area. However, at this moment, Lin Rei, who was in the sky, didn't have the time to think about anything at all. At this moment, Lin Rei's eyes were filled with shock and astonishment as he looked at the thunder tribulation that was rushing towards him in the sky. Lin Rei could feel that he could clearly sense the truth of the great Tao within this thunder tribulation. However, due to his own strength, he was unable to comprehend the meaning within. Therefore, Lin Rei was extremely anxious in his heart. Bang! In an instant, after Lin Rei's 3 combined attacks collided with the 80th thunder tribulation, cracks began to appear. They were densely packed like a spider web as they began to unravel in all directions. However, the 80th thunder tribulation wasn't that easy to pass either. Just like his own attack, it began to crack. However, Lin Rei could feel that his attack wasn't able to completely destroy this thunder tribulation. At the same time, he didn't care about his own safety and directly rushed forward. In an instant, he arrived in front of the thunder tribulation. Aren't you awesome? Aren't you very arrogant? Then you can go to my body and help me expand my meridians and improve my physical body. It's better than you disappearing. Looking at the thunder tribulation that was filled with a huge amount of energy, Lin Rei's heart was filled with excitement. He couldn't wait to break through to the next level of his physical body. Devouring heavenly art, devour for me. Suddenly, Lin Rei placed one of his hands on the thunder tribulation that was filled with energy. A terrifying suction force pierced through Lin Rei's hand. However, at this moment, when Lin Rei's hand was placed on the thunder tribulation, it was blasted away by the powerful energy within the thunder tribulation. At this moment, Lin Rei's hand was badly mutilated. It was a frightening sight. Even so, Lin Rei didn't give up on devouring the energy within the thunder tribulation. This was because this was the only way he could break through to a higher level. This was also the only way he wouldn't be injured like this again. Slowly, the originally dense purple lightning began to fade in color after Lin Li had devoured it for a while. The oppressive might began to diminish as well. At this moment, the 3-in-1 attack was finally unable to hold on any longer and began to disperse. Phew, this feels great. I didn't expect the energy within the thunder tribulation to be so strong. I can even feel that my physical body is rapidly transforming. However, if I want to successfully break through to the immortal artifact level, I'll need a lot of energy. At this moment, Lin Rei's eyes were closed. His face was filled with a comfortable expression. Moreover, his injured hand had also been repaired. It was even stronger than before. All of you, quickly retreat into the distance. The last thunder tribulation is about to descend. I can't guarantee that it won't affect the surroundings and harm all of you. Therefore, just in case, all of you should quickly retreat. Just as Lin Rei was feeling happy about his breakthrough, suddenly, a terrifying pressure that even he was afraid of instantly rolled down from above his head. It directly drowned Lin Rei in a sea of pressure. At this moment, Lin Rei knew that the next thunder tribulation, which was also the last thunder tribulation, wouldn't let him pass through it so easily. Moreover, from the pressure, he could feel that the last thunder tribulation would definitely be extraordinary. At this moment, Lin Rei wasn't worried about himself. He was worried about Su Bo and the other person on the ground, as well as his group of disciples. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. After Lin Rei's order, the members of the dark unit understood and directly grabbed Su Bo and the other person to retreat into the distance. They only stopped when they were as far away as possible from the thunder tribulation's pressure. Well, okay, you guys stay there. No matter what danger I encounter, don't come up. Those who disobey will be killed without mercy. At this moment, Lin Rei didn't know how dangerous the next situation would be, but he knew that as long as he was in danger, hundreds of members of the Dark Unit would disregard their own safety and come up to save him. Therefore, in order to prevent such things from happening, Lin Rei could only warn them in advance of what might happen to prevent them from acting on their own. Yes, we will obey the sect leader's order. On the ground, the members of the Dark Unit and Su Bo heard Lin Rei's words. Their eyes were moist and their hearts were filled with warmth. They all knew that Lin Rei was protecting them. Therefore, they didn't want to disappoint Lin Rei's good intentions. They could only agree. Chapter 248. Looking at everyone leaving, Lin Rei no longer had anything to worry about. Looking at the final bolt of lightning in the thunderclouds, all the worries in Lin Rei's heart dissipated. Humph. Come on then. Let me see just how strong the final bolt of lightning is. Right now, Lin Li had completely absorbed all of the energy from the 80th bolt of tribulation lightning. Finally, the energy dissipated. Rumble. Rumble. Boom. 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 The final bolt of lightning in the thunderclouds seemed as though it could no longer hold itself back and wanted to rush out and destroy Lin Rei. The thunderclouds vibrated continuously, and the aura of the thunderclouds increased as well. Lin Rei, who was initially feeling a little pressured, felt even more speechless right now. Come on then, you motherf***ker. I refuse to believe that if the first 80 bolts of lightning couldn't do anything to me, what can this final bolt of lightning do to me? Raising his head to look at the sky, Lin Li's eyes were filled with disdain as he looked at the rumbling thunder clouds, where the final tribulation lightning was brewing. Rumble. Crack. Lin Rei's voice seemed to have angered the thunderclouds. At this moment, the thunderous roars of thunder pierced through the clouds, blinding everyone in the vicinity. Other than the rumbling of thunder, there was no room for any other sound in their minds. In fact, some of the remaining people who did not have any cultivation base exploded upon hearing the thunderous roars. Their deaths were so gruesome that it was unbearable to watch. BZZT. By now, Lin Rei was already prepared to either succeed or die trying. He knew that the 80th bolt of lightning was just the appetizer. This 81st bolt of lightning was the main course. And this main course was the condensation of all the energy from the previous 80+ bolts of lightning. Therefore, Lin Rei could only fight with his life on the line right now. Lin Rei's body shone brightly. The Emu 10,000 skills sword in his hands shot out sword chi in all directions. Every single sword chi that shot out of his body was enough to kill a powerful being who had the cultivation of an earth immortal. At this moment, Lin Rei was giving it his all. At this moment, all the immortal weapons were activated with the support of Lin Rei's spiritual energy. All the defensive mechanisms were ready. At this moment, all the martial skills and spiritual spells were condensed into the Emu 10,000 magical sword in order to overcome the last lightning tribulation. Boom. Boom. At this moment, the last thunder tribulation and the thunderclouds in the sky seemed to be preparing to fight to the death. Finally, the black thundercloud in the sky had completely turned purple. The pressure had reached an unbearable level. Even the Mahayana Realm Dark Tribe members on the ground were all suppressed to the ground. No one understood what was going on. Fortunately, with the protection of the Dark Tribe, Su Bo and Murongyu were spared and were not injured by the pressure of the thunder tribulation. However, the shock the two of them felt at that moment had exceeded the most they had ever felt in their lives. They believed that it would also be the last time. Because at that moment, they saw that there was nothing in this world that could be solved with common sense. Of course, at this moment, they were more worried about Lin Rei, who was facing the thunder tribulation. They did not want anything to happen to Lin Rei. Kacha, kacha. Suddenly, just as everyone's imaginations were running wild, the last lightning tribulation that was brewing in the sky moved at this moment. A lightning tribulation that was a few meters wide rushed out of the thunder clouds like an ancient murderer that had been imprisoned for a long time, heading towards the thing that he had been slandering for a long time. Its speed was terrifying to the extreme, making it difficult for people to catch its figure. At this moment, Lin Rei, who had been prepared, did not expect that the last thunder tribulation would be so fast that it exceeded the celestial pole and the range that he could withstand. Fortunately, he had been prepared, so at this moment, he was not so flustered. The Emu 10,000 magical sword in Lin Rei's hand carried a huge amount of spiritual energy. A power that seemed to be able to cut through the heavens and earth was calculated on top of it. The moment the thunder tribulation rushed out, the Emu 10,000 magical sword moved and rushed towards the last thunder tribulation. With a boom, a shocking crescent-shaped sword chi was thrown out by Lin Rei's Emu 10,000 magical sword at this moment. With a sizzling sound, a sound that seemed to be able to tear through the passing space sounded. At this moment, the sound was extremely unpleasant to the ears, making people feel like vomiting. Two figures rushed rapidly in the sky, as if Stephen did not want to lose to anyone. After a period of time, he would accelerate until the last two attacks were completely like afterimages. Bang! The two attacks collided in the next moment. A loud sound reverberated through the world. At this moment, there was no longer any sound in the minds of the people. Everyone's ears were ringing from the impact of this attack. Kacha! 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 Lin Rei, who was closest to the thunder tribulation, heard the sound of glass shattering the moment his attack collided with the last thunder tribulation. In an instant, Lin Rei's face changed, as if something bad was about to happen. Kacha! Finally, the sound was completely broken. At this time, Lin Rei finally understood that the sound of glass shattering was not the sound of glass, but his own attack. After meeting the last thunder tribulation, it was so weak that it could not withstand a single blow. Lin Rei's eyes were filled with shock. He just stared blankly at the sky. The thunder tribulation broke through his attack and rushed towards him without any reduction in power. For a moment, Lin Rei did not know what to do. He felt a sense of powerlessness all over his body. At this moment, he did not know what to do. He did not even have the consciousness to protect his body. Lin Rei was completely dumbfounded. He just smiled and let the mighty thunder tribulation come. Humph, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Humph, Linley, even if you want to die, I don't want to die. Hurry up and attack with all your magic arts and martial arts. Although it still can't resist the last thunder tribulation of Purple Heaven Thunderbolt, it can at least reduce some of its attack. And the set of immortal weapons on your body can also help you for a while. Therefore, even if the last power can hurt you, for you, it's just a matter of taking some pills and drinking some spiritual liquid. You'll be fine after a period of recuperation. At the last moment, Linley, who had been prepared to accept his fate of death, suddenly heard a familiar voice, one that gave him a sense of security. His words gave Linley a renewed sense of hope. His eyes, which were originally filled with despair, were rekindled with hope at this moment. Ha ha ha, little dragon, you're really my lucky star. With you around, what am I afraid of? At this moment, Lin Rei didn't have the time to thank the little dragon. After saying that, Lin Rei once again mobilized all the spiritual power in his body and began to mobilize it towards the Yi-Mu 10,000 spell sword. Level 3 Incineration, Silent Thunder Spear Art, Dragon Subduing Step, and Star Finger. At this moment, all of them were transformed by Lin Rei into sword moves and condensed into the Yi-Mu 10,000 spell sword. Even the Devouring Heaven art was absorbed by Lin Rei. He raised his head and looked at the thunder tribulation that was about to rush in front of him. He held the hilt of the Yi-Mu 10,000 spell sword with both hands and waved it upwards. The same sword chi as before instantly rushed out and collided with the thunder tribulation. Dong, pang. Kacha. The result was the same as before. The sword chi was directly shattered by the thunder tribulation without any resistance. But at this moment, the thunder tribulation had slowed down a little, but it still arrived very quickly. Pang. Ah ah ah. Only the sound of a collision was heard, followed by a scream. It was like a ray of light, crashing down from the sky towards the ground. Pang. Just now, the thunder tribulation had directly broken through Lin Rei's attack and smashed directly onto Lin Rei's body. It also brought Lin Rei towards the ground. The result was obvious. Fortunately, he had the protection of the fairy weapon. Otherwise, Lin Rei would have lost his life long ago. At this moment, the huge pit that was originally created by Lin Rei was smashed again at this moment, and a shocking huge pit appeared. The moment the thunder tribulation brought Lin Rei to the ground and formed a huge pit, it disappeared between heaven and earth. And Lin Rei easily appeared at the bottom of the huge pit. However, at this moment, Linley, who was lying at the bottom of the huge pit, was still alive. The shining immortal weapons on his body had all turned into useless waste at this moment. His body had also become bloody at this moment. Anyone who saw him could not help but feel a chill down their spines. It was a horrifying sight. There was no place on his body that was unharmed, and all of them were bleeding. It was a very terrifying sight. Huff. Huff. Fortunately, you're fine. If you were to die, what would I do? Suddenly, above Lin Rei's head, the system's little dragon appeared, looking at Lin Rei's situation with concern. After a while, the little dragon heaved a sigh of relief and muttered to itself. Humph, I'll let you suffer a little. Growing too fast may not be a good thing. Besides, if you grow too fast and attract the attention of that person, then your days in the future will be even worse. So, this little bit of suffering is actually a good thing for you. At this time, when the little dragon was transferred to Lin Rei, its mind relaxed a little, but it immediately became like a father educating his child, reprimanding Lin Rei, who had not yet awakened. However, when the little dragon was talking about that person, its eyes were filled with worry. It knew that the little dragon was the system's spirit, but when it talked about that person, it could not help but worry. Moreover, the system was something that came from Hongmeng's era. Even Hong Jun had not been born at that time, let alone 3,000 demon gods. At that time, an ordinary person was comparable to 3,000 demon gods, and every one of them had reached the ultimate truth of the law. To be able to make the little dragon so worried, it must be an earth-shattering person, a person from the same era as it. Hee, kid, I wish you good luck. The road ahead will not be so easy, but don't worry. In order to let you grow faster, even if it violates the system's rules, I will help you become stronger as soon as possible. At this time, when it saw that Lin Rei was fine, the little dragon was relieved and disappeared back into the system. Not long after the little dragon disappeared, Lin Rei woke up from his coma. However, at this moment, Lin Rei's body was full of injuries, and there was no place that was unharmed. Therefore, the moment Lin Rei woke up, a terrible pain drilled into his head. That pain came from both the soul and the body. This is really King amazing. I didn't expect the thunder tribulation of the Mahayana realm to be so powerful. At this moment, Lin Rei seemed to have misunderstood the thunder tribulation of breaking through to the Mahayana realm. Of course, for an ordinary person undergoing the thunder tribulation, every thunder tribulation that Lin Rei was undergoing now was more powerful than the last thunder tribulation of an ordinary person. Therefore, not all thunder tribulations were like this. His thunder tribulation was only an exception, but he did not know about it. I better recover quickly. I swear that I will never experience this kind of pain again. At this moment, Lin Rei regretted not making sufficient preparations for the thunder tribulation. However, what made Lin Rei even more regretful was that he did not ask the little dragon about the things to take note of during the thunder tribulation. At this moment, the thing that Lin Rei wanted to do most was to quickly recover his body. After getting up with difficulty, Lin Rei thought of something. He took out the poison pill that he had obtained on the second floor of the mysterious heaven forest. He raised his head and poured the entire bottle of poison pill into his mouth. Right now, with every movement, Lin Li felt a heart-wrenching pain. Even the slightest movement of his pinky finger would cause him unbearable pain. But for the sake of quickly recovering his body, this little bit of pain didn't matter at all. After completing this task with a grimace, he took out all kinds of medicinal pills and stuffed them all into his mouth. He didn't even look at the names of the pills and directly swallowed them. Phew. After everything was done, Lin Rei sat cross-legged and began to cultivate the chaos scripture. Lin Li, who was cultivating with his eyes closed, didn't notice that the dissipated thunderclouds had gathered again at this moment. The original purple color had turned into a blood-red color, which made the hundreds of dark section members on the ground unable to control themselves and fight with each other. Even though the thunder clouds had not formed yet, when they saw the thunder clouds, they felt a deep sense of fear in the depths of their hearts. At this moment, Lin Rei did not have the time to care about these things. What Lin Rei wanted to do most at this moment was to make the pain in his body disappear. Slowly, as time passed, 3 hours passed just like that. At this moment, a smile appeared on Lin Li's face as he trained. But at this moment, the blood-red thundercloud in the sky had already formed. Kacha! Whoosh! The moment the red thunderclouds condensed, a faint sound was heard. A strand of thunder tribulation, which was as thick as a strand of hair, rushed out of the thunderclouds and shot towards Lin Rei. Its speed was so terrifying that even the last thunder tribulation did not reach 1/5 of its speed. In an instant, the red thunder tribulation, which was as thick as a strand of hair, rushed out of the thunder clouds and appeared behind Lin Rei. It did not stop and directly drilled into Lin Rei's body. Boom! The moment the thunder tribulation drilled into Lin Rei's body, Lin Rei, who had recovered from some of the pain, felt as if he had been electrocuted. His body trembled uncontrollably and finally fainted, you're tuning into the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.